printed in printed through. Comics
Wellspring. And yeah, this was printed with Comics Wellspring. Came out beautiful.
High quality stuff. People think it's fantastic. All the books that you see at my table are through Comics Wellspring.
Looking for something, Betty? For relief, Mrs. Rollins, try this. Preparation H?
Pain, itching?
Sure, try this. Preparation
My
H.
nickname should be Preparation H because I really do. Look, I have a whole. I have notes here. You know?
Feeling better today? Thanks to you in Preparation H.
Back in form, Bill?
Thanks to you in Preparation H.
On the mighty Mascots.
The fearless robot Boom found himself in dire straits after a bullet struck him during a fierce battle with Lana Lennon in issue 6. The impact compromised his targeting system, throwing his precision and control into disarray. Suddenly, a new threat emerged. With no time to waste, Boom makes the decision to have the bullet removed and take his chances with the glitch in his personality matrix. Boom's transformation has set the stage for an epic new chapter, and the story continues in Mighty Mascots issue 10. Issue 10 is a triple-sized anniversary extravaganza, featuring all new content by the same great creative team you know and love. Dive into a thrilling news story and enjoy 2 exciting backup tales by DC Miller and the Ogle brothers. Choose from 2 stunning alternate covers that capture the essence of this landmark issue, with artwork by Gazbot and Angry Dad Comics. Plus, we've got incredible new perks, including exclusive 3D printed Breakfast Brawler figures. There are 8 figures available in 4 sets. Buy them all to receive a bonus glow in the Dark Mondo figure. And that's not all. Catch up on back issues, grab limited collectibles, and immerse yourself in the Mighty Mascots universe like never before. Support the Mighty Mascots issue 10 on Indiegogo and be a part of this groundbreaking journey.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host, Keith Gleason, creator of the Mighty Mascots and promoter for the Plastic City Comic-Con. With me, as always, Johnny C., creator of Sartana, the comic book, The Pond, and Surrounded by Death. And I messed that up. One of those, The Pond is for Roger Morocco.
The Pond is for my good cousin, Roger Morocco, who's currently maybe watching us from Italy right now.
Really? That's awesome.
He's in Italy.
Third co-host, Harry G., graphic artist extraordinaire. Really? He's in Italy, huh?
Yeah, he's in Italy.
Awesome.
So normally he comes with me to Saratoga Comic-Con, which was this past weekend. But for the first time in a really long time, I was up there by myself.
Wow,
so
really?
I got a good night's sleep. That's for one thing. Actually, no, I didn't. I'm lying. I did not get a good night's sleep. I had a very late night, both nights, and I won't get into the details, except somebody got punched in the face.
Oh,
and that's all that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
I want to hear that story off the
It was
air.
it had nothing to do with the convention. Right. It was just something outside of the show, like a thing. Don't even worry about it, Keith.
Okay.
Don't even worry about it.
I got
a little bit of something, maybe con crud. I don't know.
Yeah, your voice is probably shot too. Was it a good crowd there, Johnny?
Not only was it a good crowd, but the fire department came in to cool down entry because the show was hitting peak capacity, which left people outside waiting to get in for up to 2 hours.
Holy crap. Wow.
It wrapped around the building like 1.5.
No kidding.
Wow.
I would love to go back to that show, but like I can't justify it without getting like a free table or the hotel comp or something, because it ends up being like not worth, you sell all your stuff and then you make nothing by the end of it after you pay all that stuff off.
Well, because you have to be considering the expenses of traveling and getting to the show if you're not a local.
Yeah, exactly. If I had a sweet deal like Jay, I probably would do the show every year.
But you and Amy were doing it right because you were also treating it somewhat like a vacation and, taking in the spas out there and some of the benefits of Saratoga Comic-Con.
That's what I miss more than the show, to be honest.
Saratoga Springs in general. Yeah.
That's awesome. There's some funny notes here. Well, first, Ara said hello to us all. Jess,
hey, Ara.
What's
always
up,
good
Jess?
to see you.
Roland said close to midnight in Italy, isn't it?
I wouldn't
Probably.
surprise me if he's still up though.
There's 7 hours ahead, so
He's part of the Buenos Aires Club.
There you go.
Which doesn't
Ira
mean
said
good night.
he'd go
it
with you
means
to
good evening.
Saratoga, Johnny.
All right, I would gladly have you, kid.
it's about 3 a.m. in Italy, I think. If it's you guys,
well, 6 hours. So yeah.
It's 2
there you
2
go. It's a business expense, he says.
It's a business expense. That's
I love
smart.
it. Yeah, so now that's good. So I'm here. Wow. I mean, that show is remarkable and how many fans it has now.
You know, I was kind of, and we're getting kind of behind the curtain of con stuff. And you, Keith, I think would probably understand this, is that this now is a legacy show to the area where it's been happening consistently for so long. It doesn't matter. Like, you don't need to worry too. I mean, you do have to be considerate of things, but you have to be less considerate of like, oh, are my guests big enough? Or am I checking all these boxes? Because no matter what, because it's the only show in the region that's of that size and magnitude and that experience, that people will keep coming back. Super Mega Fest was a lot like that when they were in Framingham. Right, because they built a reputation. They were there for a while. It didn't matter who was there. People kept coming back because they had a good time at that show.
Oh yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And it's different for a creator or a vendor because it's not. It's got so much of everything for everybody. Your stuff may not hit or land. One cool thing, actually, I can comment is that there was a booth, an artist that went by Slamble Arts, which is kind of like Campbell Soups, but Slamble.
Okay.
And his whole gimmick and routine is that he offers a 50% discount on any artwork on his table. And the majority of his artwork is video game based, and a lot of it is Super Smash Brothers based. Here's why. He offers an open challenge to anybody to play him in Super Smash Brothers at his table at a convention. And if you beat him, you get 50% off the item that you're looking to get. And some of the items, like he had like a Frazetta style painting of the Castlevania NES game cover, which is beautiful. That's a beautiful. Yeah. So he did a really awesome version of that. And that went for $400. So can you imagine going there, playing him in a game, beating him, and getting that for $200? That's awesome. So I ended up getting spanked by him. I was like, I hadn't played Smash Brothers in a while, but I was like, maybe muscle memory will kick in here.
No such luck.
Me silly. He went the whole weekend undefeated, 27-0.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah,
wow,
it was wild. I shared him on my Instagram, and he's in my reel. And he gave me a really good shout out because like 40% of Saratoga Comic-Con's vendors and audience hates me, but 60% likes me. It's mainly for the announcements and my bad jokes on the microphone and all that stuff.
Yeah.
In this context, he gave me a big shout out and was like, Saratoga Comic-Con benefits from their MC.
Yeah, nice.
Now you're at 70%.
Yeah, exactly. We're moving the needle a little bit at a time.
Right. Roland said that the Castlevania cover basically copies Frazetta's The Norseman.
Right. So it's a full circle moment, Roland. It's like movie imitating a play, imitating a movie or whatever.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, our guest is backstage, but before we bring him in, I just wanted to a shout out too, because me and Amy were at That's Entertainment in Worcester.
How'd that go?
Free comic book day. Great. Absolutely great.
Nice.
We made best show so far this year.
Awesome.
For us. And also it was cool because like they offered like free head sketches to like kids and stuff.
Oh.
But so like me and Amy were actually sketching all day. So we did about 20 sketches, all together.
Yeah.
But like they made it so that if an adult wanted to sketch, they would have the requirement was to buy something from the artist.
Oh,
so we had,
cool.
it was really cool. They set up really nice, and it was like a mini con. There was probably about 8 of us set up there.
Yeah. Comfortably set up, or were you guys crammed?
Yeah, comfortably. And then they also put all the free comic books in the room with us. So people had to go.
Had to be in there.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Got to see the Ogle brothers. They were cool. Confirmed that they're going to be on the round table too next episode.
That's next week, right?
Not next week, the
No,
week after.
the following
yeah,
week. Yep.
So they'll be on. So we got that's going to be awesome. Roundtable episode.
That'll be fun.
May 19th. That's going to be a fun night. And then also before the roundtable, we have our good friend Brandon coming in to promote that Comics Wellspring Kickstarter, which looks pretty cool.
Yep.
But so we'll table that for now. But it was a great day. Best show so far this year. So gave me hope for the rest of the year. Hopefully.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. So me too. And I'm glad your weekend was great as well. So
yeah.
But we got a packed show tonight. We got
let's get right to
it. Possibly more. Like the middle guest might be bringing a bunch of people, and then our last guest might be a couple too. So
let's have a party
first
tonight.
of all, we got our friends from Homebrewed Comics that just was on maybe a couple episodes back.
Yeah,
Dan
very
Price
recently.
And all those guys. Chris Sahloff is back. He's got a campaign going on right now for Crit, which is his baby, I believe. Without further ado, let's bring Chris into the show. Chris,
what's up, guys?
What's up, pal?
Hey,
how's it going?
Welcome back,
time
man.
no see, right?
Yeah, I know. What's it been?
Really.
Was it 2 weeks, right, or something? Maybe a month
like
ago.
that, yeah, something
like that.
Chris, I love having you on. You're one of the master marketers. Every time you come on, you dazzle me with something new that you've cooked up. And I usually like to pride myself as somebody who can kind of think outside the box, and to see you doing that as well is awesome and inspiring. You inspire me.
Well, thank you. That's that flatters me. Thank you.
I think your camera's on the opposite way though, because it says Turk. Your logo in the back. It's like not
Turk 182.
Really?
Yeah, it's not mirrored.
Oh, it's mirrored. Your background image is mirrored, but I have no problem with it.
I think people know what it.
For the people at home, right?
Is that better?
Leave it to Harry to nitpick something. He's got an artist eye, so
it's my visual.
Yeah,
See, on my screen now it's backwards. That's weird.
It's backwards for us too.
It's backwards for us. Yeah,
I love that we can do technical support live in the
air.
See, now on mine it's right.
Oh, interesting. It still looks.
We know what
Harry.
it is.
You know what?
Harry, stop sidelining the show.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Not a big deal, Chris. We all know.
Not a big deal, Chris. Not a big deal.
I was gonna say, since the last time you've been on, any new developments with the Homebrewed team?
Well, we launched, Crit number 8. That's been the big development right now. Yeah. We did $2,000, actually $2,200 the first night. So about 45 minutes we were funded. About an hour and a half. We got right at 22, 23, and right now I'm $77 away from first stretch goal at 3,000. So.
Wow,
kicking off really, really strong.
Congrats, man. That's
amazing.
You.
Yeah, so you got 24 days to go, so it's nothing but gravy from here on out.
Right, yeah.
That's definitely, I think that's also showing the byproduct of the work and the team you've assembled with Homebrewed products. All of your networks are clicking all in sync, and it's showing in the progress of your campaigns.
Yeah, I was super nervous on this one. So,
Talk about
7, that. I actually shipped issue 7 the week before this launched, and I was seeing the names of people that I had shipped packages to just pop in. So I was like, okay, that's awesome, because I was late on that book, and I apologize. I had a lot of life stuff going on, and I was very transparent with my backers about it. And it looks like they understood my situation. I fulfilled it, and that the day they got it in the mail, they were on my next campaign backing it. One guy actually shot me a message on Instagram, and he was like, I've never gotten a book in the mail one day and then back the campaign. He's like, I already love the book. I was like, that's awesome. So
that's cool.
That's great.
Cool.
And he was a new backer. He backed only because we had a Youngblood homage cover, and he got the book in that morning. He said he read them all, checked it out, saw that I was live, and backed it again. So that's really
cool, man.
There's something to be said about those homage covers. They really do work, and they catch people's eye. In my campaign that I ran, because I pitched the book as Mallrats meets The Walking Dead, I wanted to spoof the Mallrats movie poster. So
Awesome.
the wonderful Jesse Lumberg sketched up really awesome variant covers, one of them reflecting the Mallrats cover. And even most recently in C2E2 did one of those issues come boomerang back to my table so somebody could sign, so I could sign it for them. So it's just so cool. Those type of covers people go crazy for, and they work every time.
Yeah. And especially like the Youngblood stuff, you know, the 90s homage covers, people just, you know, they kind of clamor for those. So I actually got entered into, I guess, a list. They have a running list of all the Youngblood #1 homage covers. Someone has like an actual live list of those, and we got added. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I like that a lot. And that's awesome, man. Are you going to continue to do some variant covers for, you know, future campaigns, you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love, you know, those kind of like homage things. I actually, in the same campaign, I did a Dark Crystal one.
Yeah.
It was Dark Crystal mixed with Labyrinth.
Oh,
So
cool. I like that.
I did that as a chrome cover because the enemy in the book is the Goblin King. So you can't have, you know, some kind of old themed like 90s movie box cover. So Matt Weldon got a hold of the script of the book, and he just sent me, he's like, well, I know your favorite movie is Dark Crystal, and he's like, you know, the Labyrinth is an inspiration, so he just threw together this cover that is absolutely loved. So
awesome.
Yeah, you guys have so many covers. Like I was trying to like Rob Nix has one.
Yep.
There's like so many like different like you know, foil covers and things. Are pretty cool.
I try to keep it interesting, and I have a rule of 4 covers, but then Lewis, my colorist, he did this amazing cover, and I was like, well, that's going to be the metal one, because I always do. Well, not always. The last 3 campaigns I've done a metal cover, and you know, I want to keep that theme because I'm a 90s kid, and nothing's better than getting something printed on aluminum. You know?
Yeah, right. Seriously. Does that cost? Is that a lot of money to do that?
They are
Just pull
expensive.
The trigger
yes.
on that.
But that's why it's a premium tier item.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right?
That's why that's on the premium tier. It is an add-on, but I mean, the book costs $30 because it's not too much less than that to get it printed. You know,
Right.
They print it on a piece of aluminum, and then they use adhesive and put it on the book. So
okay.
It's a thick piece of metal. Yeah, I actually gave one to Rob Liefeld with the Young Blood cover on there, and he picked it up, and he's like, who printed this? And I told him, he's like, I use the same printer. So I thought that was really cool that he uses the same printer that we use.
Oh, that's cool. So Rob has one. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
really
like,
cool.
you know, you kind of inspired a lot of this. So, because I flew out to LA for the launch of Youngblood.
Okay.
You know? Cool. Yeah, I flew out at.
That was recent, right? Didn't he just bring that back recently?
Yeah, it was 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, April 16th. I literally, because I work in taxes, so April 15th is tax day. Yep. That night, 9 o'clock at night, I'm getting on a plane. I land in LA. I get off the plane. I go to my hotel room. I sleep. I wake up in the morning. I go to the event. I eat lunch. I get back on a plane. I fly back to North Carolina.
No shit.
That's wild.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is crazy. And like, did you have a few minutes with him? Did he say anything?
Yeah, I was number 2 in line.
Okay.
The guy in front of me, was his birthday. Him and I actually went out for lunch afterwards. I had no idea who he was. I just got in his car and went out for lunch with him. I mean, why not?
You can't do that in New England right now because we have a serial killer.
Never mind.
Do we?
You do, yeah.
Do we really?
You didn't hear?
about...
That's a whole nother topic.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
not derail the show.
But yeah, so I was second in line, and I walk up, and the guy who's organizing the thing for him, Dave, he just recognized me from Facebook, and I do a lot of Whatnot orders, and he's like, Chris Sahloff, and I'm like, you got my name right. Holy crap. I'm like, you know, he's like, I've seen you on Facebook. He's like, you're shorter in person. I'm like, that's fine. I get that. But it was kind of cool that, you know, he recognized me, and Rob knew who I was because I'd been posting on Facebook about the line, and I messaged him and said, the guy, and that was first, it was his 55th birthday, and he had been there since 8 a.m. So I figured Rob would do something nice, and he did. So that, you know, he knew who I was. He remembered the cover from Twitter because he had retweeted it. So
cool.
It was, you know, really a really awesome experience. You know, they always say don't meet your heroes kind of thing, and I've heard it's either hit or miss, and I guess I got the hit. So
I've said it before in the past too that Rob Liefeld, every in-person experience has been great. I just don't understand why he blocked me on Instagram. It's inexplicable. You never know why.
Yeah, really weird.
Yeah,
and like I've had
seen-
great experience with him too.
I
I actually tabled next to him at a show in Rhode Island one year, and he just popped over, and just chatted with us for like a few minutes, and really nice guy. Like I'm not a big fan of his art. I've never been, I would never diss him. He's a legend in the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just not my cup of tea, his artwork,
Yeah.
Chris, if I can circle back around a little bit, and if you're open to talking about it, you mentioned that you were very nervous about this campaign at launch. The Saturday before the Sunday, which was like a day and a half before I launched Surrounded by Death, my campaign, I was literally like anxiety, panic attacks. Like my relatives were suggesting maybe I should go to the hospital because I was just so at wit's end.
Oh my God.
But only because I was really just like shook by like putting myself out there in my first campaign. And I felt like I had a lot weighing on me in that regard. I'm sure it wasn't that bad for you, but can you talk a little bit, or do you mind sharing a little bit about the anxiety or just the nervousness you had about doing this
maybe
campaign?
it'll help other creators to kind of
exactly. Maybe like there's another me out there who's under the same circumstances. So if you have wisdom to drop, that'd be great.
So I've done 10 crowdfunding campaigns, and every single one has a different anxiety about it. It could be the book itself. There's tons of different things. This one was different because the last campaign, like I said, was really late. I wanted to ship this book in September, October of last year.
Okay.
But when I launched my last campaign, the same day I launched, my wife asked for a divorce. So
oh shit, dude. Sorry about that.
I didn't promote the book right. For a while I didn't have a place to draw, or like I didn't have a home to draw in. And because in North Carolina, you have to be separated for a full year before you can get divorced. You can't live in the same house at all. So I had to find a new place to live. I mean, it was just a mess. And and then the depression and all that other stuff. Like I was really late. And that was my biggest anxiety piece, was I was shipping the book late and then launching a book. And I only had like 2 pages really drawn. And my team, like we talk about the team, and they were like, we got you, we're going to promote it. And as long as you ship the book and you're transparent, everyone's gonna be fine. And we promoted it. We did a really good job of getting the word out there. But I felt, honestly, I felt a little dirty because I just shipped this book, and I shipped it late. But with the way the Kickstarter season worked out for us, like I had to go first because the other guys had stuff going on the other months that didn't line up. And so I was like, you know what? At least I have a couple pages drawn. I'm in tax season. So, for the summer, I don't work. I'm just going to draw. And so, but it was just normally when I go to a campaign, I have like 4 or 5, sometimes more pages finished so I can show people what I'm working on. But the guys were like, you've done 8 books. You have enough work to show people. You don't have to show them new pages. Just show them what you've done, because when you're at your 8th book, you're just showing another page, Right. And you fulfilled all your books. Hell, my first campaign didn't fund, and I still gave people free books because I made them myself. So, when you've gone that far with it, just, I guess to me though, it was doing right by the backers, because, they're, people can call them fans, customers, whatever they are. There's still people that believe in my book, and they come back time after time. And I didn't want to look greedy. I didn't want to look bad to the people who have gotten me this far. And that was really what was bugging me. It had nothing to do with anything else. I know when push comes to shove, I can lock myself in a room and I can draw all day. I know that I'll get the book done. I'm not stressing about that. I was stressing about, how do I look to the people that just got this book, or some of the people overseas that haven't
like a new person, right? Like a new backer. Yeah.
Like, man, like you hear those stories about people like, oh, I haven't even got the last book and they're already doing this, or you know, they you do a Kickstarter for a book and you're at a con with it before your backers even have it, you know?
Right. Yep.
And here I am like, hey, I'm launching issue 8 and most of you have issue 7, but not all of you. And that kind of ate away at me. But now the guys were right. You know, the book was done. I had it in my hand. And here's the thing that really sucked. So I launched the campaign. Everything's great. And Drew calls me the day after the campaign, and I'm on a high, right? Because I just funded $2,000 in 45 minutes. That's the highest we've done in that amount of time, and you know, it's still ticking away. And he calls me, he texts me, and he's like, "Hey, I need to call you." And I'm like, "What? Like, what is wrong?" You know,
it's never good.
I love Drew, but he's like, and this is a good thing. Drew will pick up the smallest like issue. You know, he is a writer, he's an editor, and I love Drew. But he will go through my campaign and find a problem. I'm like, man, what did I screw up? That's so bad that you want to call me. And he's like, your printer printed one of the covers, because I had 4 covers on that book. One of them, it starts on page 19. So it does the back half of the book first and the second half of the book second. Oh. And I was like, man. So luckily it was like, oh, there's Dan.
What up, Dan?
What's up, Dan?
Watching, man.
Luckily it was just it was the premium tier, and there was less of those that shipped out, so I was lucky. And I did an update real quick on a few of them, like saying, hey, because the printer is going to ship me the new book, so I just got to get them and get them shipped out, so they have, you know, an error book. But
man,
you know,
which is probably worth thousands of dollars or whatever, isn't that?
I hope. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Misprint.
But nobody even cared. They're like, hey, it happens, you know? Yeah. And I think to answer your question, like, you know, come full circle in your question, you know, every campaign has a different set of nerves that it hits. This one was more for my backers than it was me, because I have full faith that we'll have the book done. And I have full faith that what I'm going to put in people's hands is going to be quality product. But I don't want anyone to ever think that I'm the type of person, or like we're the company that will take your money, not ship a book, and then start promoting the next one. It was just kind of circumstances that lined up in a tough way that put me where I was at. And I got to say thanks to like everyone that showed up on our live. We had 421 views on that live,
cool, dude.
Which was awesome. You know, a lot of support. And yeah, exactly. I have a few that I'm going to bring to cons and just see, you know.
Yeah, put them in a bag and write that up, put a little sticker on there that says rare error variant or something.
Just to kind of button up everything we were just talking about. Number one, I just want to say thank you for sharing the more personal details, because like, you know, that we all go through tough stuff, right, in life, and you know, we forget about that sometimes when we're looking and talking shop. So thank you for, you know, sharing that with us. And more so, like, there's a 2 to 3 prong kind of thing based upon everything you said here, is that even in the face of the adversity and the anxiety and the things that you were feeling, you had such a great supportive team working with you. And that's very important, to surround yourself with other creatives who can boost you and talk you off the ledge when you need it, right? And that was great that you have such a good team by your side. And then beyond that, for anybody who's even considering or thinking about backing the campaign, Chris just shared with you guys the number one reason why you'd want to back a campaign in a creator like this. He absolutely cares, to the point where it bothered him so much for the sake of his backers. These are the type of people you want to buy the stories from. These are the people you want to support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I care about everybody that backs my books. You know, I get a lot of people that'll message me and talk about it. I think the cool thing is when I see kids reading the books, you know, or a parent saying, the very common thing was when I put the Samedi dolls out first. I still have a few left. I need to do another order. I would get parents that are like, "Oh, can I buy another doll? Because my kid took the cat."
Please.
So we get a lot like that. Yes. That's the best part, you know, getting families that are involved. And to that point, you know, like my team did talk me off the ledge. Dan's in the chat, and I called him one day, and I was like, "Man, I'm stressing," and he was like, "You're not alone this time." And I can't kind of forget that, because I've been doing this for 5 years, and every time I launch, you know, I'm doing the marketing, I'm doing the shows, I'm doing all this. And I forget now that there's 4 of us that are working on the same goal, and we're pushing for the same thing. So really, really awesome to have that feeling of actual camaraderie within your creative team, not just, having some friends that make comics too. And they're like, yeah, you're going to do well, buddy.
Yeah, right.
More than just the actual verbal encouragement, there's like action.
Right.
Yeah, you guys share the burden.
And that makes a difference.
Thing. Yeah,
exactly.
We want to see all the books succeed because, it's I personally picture it as like the record label as a kid, because I was a huge fan of Roadrunner Records, and I didn't care what band was on there. If I heard X band was on Roadrunner Records, I went out and bought that CD or that tape, and that's kind of what I want for us, is like, I want people to be fans of just Homebrewed and be able to pick up every title and like it and support every single one. So when Bigfoot comes out, I'm promoting the crap out of that. That's in a week and a half. And then in June, we've got, Celestial Knight versus Caspian Porter, which we're going to push just as strong as we did the other 2 titles. And, people aren't just going to be tossing money on a Kickstarter. We're growing this thing. We've got a lot in the funnel. And we've talked about issue 0. Homebrewed 0 is going to be a lot of fun. We have that on the campaign. I got the pink coupon. I'm really stoked about that one. And my kid and I actually, on the way to school today, were talking about it because we just built an art studio in the house for her, and she's like, so this summer we're working on the book, because her and I are doing 6 pages, and she's like, what are we calling it? And I said, Caffeinated Critters. And she just died laughing, She was like, I love it.
That's great.
So
I love that. Yeah, that's really fun, man.
It's going to be a family thing soon, which is really cool.
That's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Now, did you build all of your campaigns on Kickstarter, or did you try other platforms?
I did Indiegogo for issues 0, 3, and the trade paperback, and then I did a second when I did issue. I think it was either 2 or 4. One of those. I went back and I put a secondary campaign on there. I just don't like doing that. I know a lot of people will bounce from one right to the other.
Yeah.
I don't like doing that. I figure what I like to do is put it on the website as a pre-order then. And we're still working on it. We're still able to pre-order it, but we're not using another crowdfund because we don't really need to fund it, But what I like with Kickstarter now is there's no need to do that, because you can still collect late pledges now, just like Indiegogo did.
Yeah, that was the one thing Indiegogo had over Kickstarter, but they don't have that anymore. That's why I'm kind of on a trying to figure out if I should try Kickstarter again, because I've been doing Indiegogo for the last handful of my last 3 campaigns. But before that, I did do some Kickstarter, but it's been years. And so I'm wondering if I should try it again and see with
my
the
nervousness would be the crossover audience. Sorry.
Yeah, like I'm wondering if Kid Switch would do okay on Kickstarter versus Indiegogo.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I like Kickstarter. Personally, my goal, and it's probably because my dad gave me some shit, is to eventually, just do a solid pre-order system on our website. And they do have, I use Wix to host. They actually have a crowdfunding app that you can add to the website.
Yeah, I've seen some people do that. Like, I guess you just have to get to that point where you have that audience that will follow your website.
That's like the nerves. So what I'd like to do is when I get to a point where we have like a side book or something that we can put on there, or maybe a trade paperback or something that I'm not as worried about.
What if you did, like, I've seen other creators do this where they do both. So they will create a crowdfunder, and then they will create a crowdfunding campaign on their website as well. So they do 2 different goals, like a smaller goal for the website and then more of a bigger goal for the crowdfunding. And then they give, whenever they promote, they give the customers both links and say, hey, so you kind of build that awareness that you're doing that on the side, and you do that for maybe the next like 5 campaigns. And then you might start
just
slowly shifting your audience there, So
I think you'd have
more work, but
You'd have to manage that outside of like the platforms itself. Like that would be have to be on your newsletter, because I can only imagine if Kickstarter somehow caught wind that you're trying to pull from that side, they just throttle you. They're like, okay, well, let's this guy's trying to push all the business that way.
Well, remember Johnny, remember that guy that used to come on our show in the early days that did Airlift, I think? Or Airlift, that comic.
Yeah. He poured it over.
He ported his whole audience over to his website, and he doesn't even I don't even think he does campaigns anymore. So it is.
I also feel like that's a closed pool, right? Once you port somebody over to your own network, you're now losing here are new viewers that Kickstarter will bring you. Right?
Yeah,
it's
right.
Kickstarter's not
right
for a lack of new people.
Yeah.
But your website is, unless you do something about it.
Right. Grow that bigger.
Right. See, the whole, my dad said one day, he's like, when are you going to stop crowdfunding these things? And when can you just make a pre-order,
Yeah. That was the shit he was giving you?
Oh, yeah. My dad always gives me shit.
Is he a marketing guy? Was that kind of what it was? Or like,
no, my dad actually did some work with a bunch of different creators a long time ago. He knows Joseph, Michael Linsner. He did work on some cover when I was a little kid. I don't know which one.
I think you mentioned Justice League Europe or Euro Justice League or whatever. Is that what do you do for them?
I was so little, I don't remember. I just remember him talking about it, and then later on in life, I was like, well, I want to do that, and he put me in contact with a few people. But also, my uncle works for the printing company that handles Archie, Marvel, and DC, so he knows a lot about the business from that side. And he doesn't know as much about indie comics and what we do. But I had to explain to him, Dad, like printing for us is more expensive than printing for those guys because they're printing thousands of books. I'm printing hundreds of books. There's a big price break difference. And he's like, well, then you need to get more customers and start printing thousands of books. And I'm like, thanks, Dad.
Yeah, right.
Easier said than done, right?
You just want to say, yeah, right.
He literally waits till the last day every time to back the campaign. I'll text him like the whole time, Dad, don't forget, because he works third shift, and he'll send me a screenshot. I have a reminder, so he knows the exact time it's gonna. He's like, if you launched at 8:00, that means I at least back it by 7 p.m. So he sets an alarm clock for 7 p.m. the last day of the campaign, just to be that guy.
That's too funny. You know what though? I think some of that is the generational blue collar mentality. Right.
Yeah.
It's like always thinking about the more and the bigger and planning bigger and dreaming bigger.
But
you know what I mean?
Also not understanding that Kickstarter and Indiegogo, all these crowdfunding are awesome distribution methods.
I think they're like on the level of being a publisher by themselves. If you really think
they really are like
that is
you're almost like Diamond if you think about it,
Mm-hmm.
except you cut out the BS and you go right to the customer.
Next time your dad gives you the crap, sorry, Keith. I was just
no, it's
say,
okay, Johnny.
Next time your dad gives you crap, just say Kickstarter is the new pre-order system.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
I don't think I don't think it's a bad. I understand the desire to move stuff to a website, but I don't think having a Kickstarter is a bad thing as well. Like for even just for that reason Johnny said, where it's you might get a new eye on it, whereas people might miss you on a website.
Yeah, you're doing a lot. You're building your base. Sorry, Chris. So you're doing a lot. You're building your base. You're you're finding new people. Like there's a lot going on with Kickstarter. That percentage they take, there's a reason for it. You do get benefit from that.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with the percentages, to be quite honest, because if you look at the way the breakdown comes in, you're getting clients just from organic views on their website. So they've got to make a cut to keep that thing running. But when I look at like what the actual negatives of running Kickstarter are, really that retailers don't like when you have like a Kickstarter. So when we talked about last time our distribution agreement, and in the agreement is actually the covers that we have are retail covers only. So we can't use a cover that was on Kickstarter, and we also can't put a book into retail that was just on Kickstarter. It has to have a 3-month window, because you've got to let that audience kind of die down.
Right.
Which to me, that's the only negative, is like people that go to comic book stores, like the majority of comic book readers, they know about Kickstarter for a title, but they're not Kickstarter people. They're retail people. I worked in retail for a long time, and even I did board games. We had board games that would do hundreds of thousands of dollars on Kickstarter, and then would come into our warehouse and would still do hundreds of thousands of units. So just because you've got a pocket of people that like crowdfunding campaigns, you've also got a lot of other people that don't do that.
Right.
And that's kind of the tough part is like, yeah, we crowdfunded it. We didn't use our whole, like 120 people isn't our audience. Like if you put it on your shelf, you're probably going to have a bigger audience because, they might like that young blood cover, or they might like the cat, drunk in the corner on some rum. You know what I mean? Like that cover is going to, hit somebody hard, and they're going to pick the book up.
But you also create that collectability with it. Like if you limit it like that, like, Kickstarter exclusive, retail exclusive, like it helps create like that.
That
Go
cat
ahead,
is yours,
Gary.
cat. Your cat, right? The character, right? Is
Yes.
there a cat?
Oh, actually, yeah. Let me bring up the
there's
campaign
somebody
while
else
we're
with,
talking.
who has the chupacabra with a shotgun? Who has that one?
That's Dan.
Dan. Okay. So how many members are you? Those guys should do a team up, the cat and the chupacabra. But how many members of your team are there now?
So
Dan?
with Homebrewed Comics, there are 4 of us.
Yeah.
So there's me, Dan,
Okay.
Drew, and Dennis. I'm the only C. Everybody else is D's. But with Crit, I have the whole group of players. So it's me, Brad, Terrell, Austin, Obi, and Kid, Ryan. And then I have my colorist, Lewis. So that the team for Crit is pretty big. But they don't really do a lot of crossover because my guys, they just like the campaign. They like being part of Crit stuff. But
I was going to say, because there's 4.
What?
Yeah, there's 4 of you guys total with your different titles, right? You could have, like, I'm just looking at your logo because, like, Keith and I were talking about logos before the show, and you could have like a different character be represented by each letter of Crit. You know what I mean? Like have like a character for the C, for the R, for the kind of like what Marvel does, and then the dots in between could be little like the coupons that you click on, the what do you call those little things? Like,
that'd be kind of cool.
Could be
like
be your own
like QR code.
Could be each person's. Yeah, it could be each person's QR.
Each person's campaign or link. Yeah, coming together like the Avengers or the Wu-Tang.
Exactly. Right.
I like it.
Right.
I like it.
Not a bad idea. Yeah.
I'm a fan of Wu-Tang.
I'm just thinking.
Yeah. Amen to that.
I would say if you, Chris, if you want to give the audience for any new people watching, like, what's the gist of Crit? Like, what's your elevator pitch that you give to people?
I'm about to change my elevator pitch because of.
Oh, are you? You want to run it by us? See if see what we think.
I would actually like both versions, please, if you don't mind. Just
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Let's do a little technical breakdown here, guys.
So
we'll pick which one's best.
We'll vote.
Yeah, we'll vote on
poll the audience.
When Crit,
kind of like American Idol.
I told everybody, this is a superhero Dungeons and Dragons campaign turned into a comic book. So everything that you read happened at the table. Every decision is determined by the dice. Every conversation you read happened at our table. So you're getting a full tabletop experience in comic book form. It's superheroes. It's fun. I could go into the likenesses, but I'll leave that for the Kickstarter. Now that I'm actually unveiling King Arthur, I get to actually explain that this is an Arthurian tale with a superhero trope. King Arthur arguably is in our story seen as one of the first superheroes. You just don't know that until this issue. And so I didn't want to pull a Walking Dead and say it's an Arthurian tale with superheroes, because everyone would ask me, well, where's King Arthur? Where's King Arthur? And yeah, you got to wait 5 years until I put out the 8th book to know that King Arthur's in there. So now that, I'm unveiling King Arthur in the series, I'm going to be able to really explain to people it's a D&D Arthurian tale with superheroes. And to me, that's, as a fan of King Arthur and those things, if someone said, yeah, it's an Arthurian tale with superheroes, I'm already interested. I wish I could have done it sooner, but I didn't want to spoil anything. And I'm really, really excited to really bring the Arthurian side of things into it, because this book, bringing in King Arthur as we go, is a huge game changer for everything.
That's cool. I like that. And he's, I always love seeing like updates on King Arthur legend, and most recently like Mage. I always loved that book from Matt Wagner, and DC did one too. What was it? Camelot 3000.
Yes.
Yeah, stuff like that. I love.
An inspiration, if you look at the King Arthur design, my inspiration was from King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, the old cartoon from the 90s.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, that was great.
I was a huge fan of the cartoon. And when I was talking to the guys, we were thinking about what his armor looked like, and I said, well, I always liked that armor because it had a sci-fi element to it.
Yeah, right.
Even though it was medieval. And so when I was like, I'm gonna model it after King Arthur from the Knights of Justice, they were like, yeah, so just do it. There was no argument.
That cartoon was basically the American version of Saint Seiya, which is an anime of the same kind of variety, where they were knight warriors of the astrology. So it was Scorpio, Aquarius. Every one of them was representative of a different astrological sign or something like that.
That's cool. Yeah. I always liked too in Mage how like Excalibur was like a baseball bat, like it was just updated from like modern times. I always thought that was really cool. Always loved that comic.
So in this story, though, Excalibur is not a sword. Caliburna is a sword. Excalibur is a person.
Oh, that's an interesting little take. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah,
that's
I'm giving snippets here because those don't come out for a long time. This book only focuses on Arthur. When we were talking, Knights of the Zodiac. Yep, I've watched that and read. I think there's a book too, but we have a lot that goes into the legend there. And when we were talking about how to really mold this book, the way the story is told, I said, because when like I said, everything happens at the table. I gave a lot of information to my players at that point that I didn't really want the characters to know. And to me, the readers should know what the characters know. That way, every aha moment that the characters have, the reader has. And so when we go into some of the stuff that the players learn, I didn't want to give it all away. But to keep my players invested, I had to give them a little bit more. So, you got to keep your players coming back every week. So there is going to be some give and take on what exactly is explained and what's not. So there's going to be more to the Arthurian story, and we're going to focus on King Arthur. Clearly, you can't have King Arthur without a sword. I like Caliburnus, even though it's the same in legend. You've got him. You've heard Excalibur called that, but Excalibur, the title of that goes to another character. And of course, I'm going to drop Merlin in the book because you can't have, King Arthur without a Merlin. And if you looking back, there is another knight right there. They will be in the book. They just won't be the center focus. So that way you get the full, this is King Arthur, this is what he did, and this is how he was seen kind of thing. And it's told from this perspective of someone who admires King Arthur in a way that's very unique. So I don't want to give up too much because we've actually put a lot into remolding my explanation so that the reader can kind of fill in some of those gaps. And we want to create some mystery around it too. Like, how did this guy do all this stuff back then and now we don't have any of it? Like if he was fighting monsters, and that was the big question that we had when I started the campaign. Because when I started it with them, I told them all this stuff comes from King Arthur legend. And they were like, what? Like how? And I said, we'll get to it. But I have King Arthur. He'll show up at some point. And they're like, how did all that happen? You hear the legends, Medusa and all the different monsters and stuff from lore. And I was like, well, we'll get to it, like that part we're just going to get to. And some of it we do dive into in here, some of those epic battles that Arthur
awesome.
got to have.
I love that. But before we run out of time, Chris, did you want to just tell the audience what perks that they should be looking at here in the campaign? Like, what are some of your favorites?
I've got one. I hope it's still on there as a.
Right,
you can highlight one now.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the collector.
This one right here. Okay.
Yep. So I put that one on there. That's got everything in the campaign, and it's got the reissue of, the remaster of issue 1, which is a foil. So, this is our 5-year anniversary. And so I recolored issue 1, and I'm doing it as a foil cover in this book. And also issue 1 is the only book that I've ever done a cover for. So
cool.
You get the only book I've ever done a cover in foil. You get the wraparound. You get the wraparound foil, you get the deluxe foil, and you get the 2 standard covers with that. So you get 5 different covers, 4 mini prints, and all the deluxe stuff, as well as any unlockables. So that one I thought was the best deal for anybody that wants to come in and also get the remaster. But everything's in there as add-ons as well, so you can add any cover you want, even including the metal one. You can add previous issues. So if you're new, you can get caught up, and all those previous issues come with digital download too. So if you back a physical, you get the digital with it. Then on top of everything, I've got a link in the Kickstarter. If you're new and you just want to check it out, you can download issue 0 for absolutely free. That one,
cool.
Yep. It's kind of an introductory, like, hey, you don't know what you're going to get yourself into. Issue 0 is, it's the first time we played D&D together. So half the book, you're getting them in certain suits. And then at the very end, it shows them in their new suits. And it's like a joke because their old suits were, arguably ripoffs of famous people. Captain America meets Ant-Man and stuff. And they make jokes like, well, due to legal reasons, we had to design some new suits.
That's cool. I like that.
I like, it's very meta, but our series is meta. At the end of issue 7, I actually have an editor's note apologizing for all the memes, because every page has some kind of meme-worthy joke, and that's just what Crit is. It's very meta, very tongue-in-cheek.
That's pretty much how I look at it. It's like friends having fun. That's pretty much the definition of your Crit. Crit,
yes.
Right? So Crit world. Yeah, pretty much.
What you're reading is me and my friends literally having fun every month,
right?
Getting away from the real world. There's even though it takes place in modern America, you have very little real world overlap with anything, because when we get together and play D&D, this is our escape from all the crap we deal with. And one of my players is a cop, the other one's a teacher, wrestling coaches. You've got tons of different backgrounds in there. And we didn't want, when we get together, we don't want to talk about taxes and other stuff. Like, we just want to have fun playing D&D.
It kind of reminds me
of D&D as superheroes,
It kind of reminds me of Ready Player One. Everybody has their own avatar, in the game. Like,
exactly.
Your own. Yeah,
that's great.
It's fun to tell people this, but the guy who is Boulder in the book, when he started playing this, he was like, man, now I got to look like a superhero, and he dropped like 40 pounds. He went and started working out all the time again.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
Because he's an Olympic level wresler.
Wow.
But he's got 2 kids, wife, full-time job. He's like,
and let himself go a little bit. And
and he's like, man, my kid saw me in the book and was like, you don't look like that, Dad.
I struck a chord.
That'll do it. Yeah.
He got his button shaped.
That's good though. Like, what the hell, right?
Right. So
or
the
you
book
just pop some
transcends
prednisone,
just being
like
just a
I've been
comic
doing.
book,
But yeah, no, that's great. Like, no, I like this, Chris. I think it's awesome campaign, and the fact that you made so many issues so far is awesome. A lot of indie guys don't even get to like issue 2 of a book,
Right.
So this is really cool, man.
Yeah, and I mean,
he was an Olympic level wrestler. I saw the Sheldon.
Oh yeah.
I think he qualified. I don't know, but I do know he still holds one of the records in the U.S. I forgot what it is for. He just called me like a few months ago when we were talking. He's like, oh, I found out that I still hold this record, because he's a coach for in Boone, North Carolina. He's the head coach for the wrestling team, the high school wrestling team in Boone. and he was talking to his old coach, and his coach was like, "Oh yeah, you still hold this title, like this national title," and he didn't even know it.
Oh,
So
cool.
that was pretty cool. If you look up Terrell Williams from Boone, that's who Boulder is.
That sounds
So
familiar.
Right on.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool, man.
The name sounds
Yeah,
famous.
that's cool.
Troll.
I love that you
It sounds
turn
like a
your
well-known-
your game night into a comic. I think that's so much fun, man.
it immortalizes my friends, and they get to walk around and say, "Hey, I'm a superhero."
Yeah,
That's
it's great.
wonderful.
Love it. So good. Anything else you want to talk about with Homebrewed and or yourself before we start wrapping
Any
up?
other plugs or anything? Yeah.
Yeah. Homebrewedcomics.com. Definitely back Crit, because that's my campaign. I'll be selfish for a minute. But follow Bigfoot Knows Karate. That launches the 15th, so in 10 days. And then, in June 21st, we got Caspian Porter. And everybody that gets on these campaigns, you get Homebrewed Zero, which is all new content and exclusive just for that title. So take part of all of our Kickstarters, get signed up. We have awesome rewards for everybody. And like I said, if you're questioning if you're going to like Crit or not, just go download issue 0 for free. It's on the Kickstarter. It's on the website, homebrewedcomics.com. Check it out. And if it's your thing, I've got price points for everybody. So
Do you have does Homebrewed have you guys have a newsletter on there that people can sign up for?
Yes.
For your books?
Actually, we just sent one out today.
Did you really? Yeah,
Yep.
because I feel like that's the way to go going forward. I want to try to get off more social media and start forcing my way towards
Direct
that. I think.
to your reader is where
Yeah.
I think we got Drew could fix it. I believe it's between 500 and 600 people on our mailing list.
That's perfect.
We're growing a lot.
Yeah, and I think like you could possibly as you get more people back in the crowdfunding, you can probably add them into your mailing list too.
Yes. Yeah.
If they don't want it, they can just opt out. Like
Yeah, they
anyone
always opt
else.
out. Yeah.
Mhm.
But still, I can't imagine why no one wouldn't want it.
Right. I like getting those updates when I see,
Yeah,
this person's
I'm the
got a book
same.
coming out and I like their book.
Yeah, exactly. I follow a bunch of creators on newsletter. It's right. It's great.
You
But like
guys
you
were
said,
had a
the
press.
day that Instagram shuts down, I need to have a backup. So,
Yeah, right, exactly. Harry, what were you going to
That
say?
happened to us.
No, I also caught too that you guys had you had a press release from Fox News and the AP.
Yeah.
Oh, did you
Did you guys-
really? Wow.
Yeah.
So
Can you
getting your name out there.
please enlighten us?
Yeah, so we put out a press release about Homebrewed Comics coming together, because up until January of this year, it was Homebrewed Heroes, and it was pretty much just me running the show, publishing my own books, and I had Homebrewed Heroes. And Drew and I had been talking. I think when we got in here last time, we talked about how we evolved and we did a brand change over to Homebrewed Comics. So when we did that, we put out a press release, and a lot of people picked it up and ran with it. So it was really cool, actually, seeing Fox News and stuff show up with, our Homebrewed Comics name in there. You type it in, and Fox News is on there. That's kind of cool. But
is wild.
it was
Yeah.
showcasing the fact that we're hitting the scene. We're hitting the scene strong. We have Kickstarters. We have retail. We have a whole plan into 2026. So, we're not just you said before, most creators don't get past book 2, and there's a reason for that. Making comics is hard.
Yeah.
We've already made a lot of comics. Each one of us has done a lot in the comic book, the indie world. And so we're not afraid of it. We're not going anywhere. We're actually stronger than ever now because we're together. So keep a lookout for us. And that's pretty much what the press release was saying is, we're here, and we're going to make a big splash. And I think, kicking off our first Kickstarter with $2,000 in 45 minutes is a pretty big splash.
Not bad.
I would have to say, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely.
Congrats
Now you
on
can
that.
cross
Thank
pollinate
you.
between all 4 guys as audiences.
Mhm.
And then the other great thing is, no matter how many conventions you go to, how many places you go to, you're going to still find people that have not read Crit #1. You can still keep bringing it to people. So
You're building a network, and you're also casting a net. So where you guys are all kind of in different spots, whatever shows you're moving all of your books, which is awesome. Like that's just it's good to do things that way. You're hitting almost all the same great check marks of being with a publisher, but you guys are just doing it as a team.
Yep.
That's ideally the best way to go about things.
yeah,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're not looking to really grow. One of my things when we started this was I don't want to grow too big too fast. That's why we're with Philbo Distribution, because they're a new company as well. So we're going to grow with them. We're not going to join a big guy and get taken advantage of because we're the little guy. And I don't want to do what a lot of people do is they come out the gate and all of a sudden you got 20 books. If you can't manage 5 books, how are you going to manage 20?
Yeah.
That's kind of like
good
my
to think like that. It's growing organically and not overdo it. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Well, when you're not in a rush and you're trying to pay back like a benefactor or anything, that's makes all the difference in the world,
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Chris, everybody, I dropped the link to the campaign in the chat. So if you guys want to check that out, if you are watching this tomorrow, it is in the description of the video. Click that link, help out Homebrewed Comics, help out Chris. And if you're D&D superhero, King Arthur fan, definitely jump in on this campaign. And he's got 8 issues, so come on, people. This is a guy that delivers. This guy, and he cares about his backers. So
it sounds like a real fun story. And you're a stand-up creator, Chris. We love having you on the show. Thank you for taking time out of your evening and your day and your schedule. You guys are busy, but thank you for taking time to come on to our show.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Have a great night, Chris. And we'll see Dan, I think, in a month or so. I think Dan's coming on in a month or so to promote Bigfoot. So
straight up
find out what the next month of Homebrewed
I think right after that you're probably gonna get Drew and Dennis on here too, so
okay,
get the whole Homebrewed crew back.
Have is it you working with Jeff, right?
Yep.
Have Jeff reach out to me and we'll try to find some spots for you guys.
Awesome. Well, as always, man, thank you guys so much.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah, no
Thanks,
problem, Chris.
Have a great seeing you, man.
Take care.
All right, have a great night, man.
You too. Bye.
Thanks. That was great.
They should get Method Man and Red Man to write some comics for them and be a part of their team.
Right.
Also, I had a brilliant idea for a new roundtable episode as we were in that discussion.
King Arthur.
Oh, really? Like, is it something you want to do? We'll
I
talk
think
off
Chris.
the air?
I think. Well, no, I can even say it right now. I think
Okay.
Chris would be great on a roundtable discussion about disrupting crowdfunding.
Okay. Like
Right.
like finding like those like pioneers or people that are doing something different and
different and unique, and working with this, but also for both like the example you gave of having 2 going at once, right?
Yeah.
Or people who do something different. Like I was even thinking of do people use eBay? Because eBay kind of has all the functionality you need with less of the expense. I mean,
so it's funny,
but the loss there is that you don't have that built-in specific to comics audience, right? That targeting.
And people aren't normally going to eBay looking for
but all you need is a
books.
link. All you need is a link, right?
I was talking to somebody this weekend because I've been doing like a couple auctions here and there on the side, to make up for a little bit of income. And this guy was telling me you can get a store on eBay for I don't know, like $8 a month.
Wow.
And it helps your listings, because I don't know if you've done eBay recently, but whenever you list something now, they actually have an option that they promote your listing, and they take more money from your
of course,
just so you can have a higher listing. But I heard if you get the store, it helps you already in that. So you pay $8 a month, and I'm assuming you get just a store face on there, but it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's
like
a great
you said,
idea.
if you can get a link to it, it might be better than having a website. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you can game the system to make an eBay, I was just kind of thinking it through in the head as we were talking. Is can I game the system to make eBay work as a pre-order method for comics?
We'll edit this part out so no one will think.
No, but if somebody else could come to that idea before me and do it well, by all means. But that's the idea, disrupting crowdfunding. I think that would be a great roundtable episode.
Before we bring in the next guest,
yes.
I wanted to shout this out real quick. This is a campaign that's live right now too, that I lettered for Invader Comics. It's a Death's Immortal Hunter, and it's a
Just
a
hit
story.
too.
It's what's up?
It just hit too, right? Just past the goal.
Yeah, they I've done this. I've worked with these guys on this one off and on for the last couple of years, and it's one of those stories like Highlander or something where there's this like this hunter that goes around, and it's like generational kind of thing, and it's really cool, like the artwork and some of the design work. Yeah, well, this story was in black and white with a little bit of color. It's mostly black and white, but
it looks like it could have been a Vertigo book.
Yeah, doesn't it? Like, it's really well made, and so I wanted to shout these guys out. This part, story,
that's a great page right there,
isn't it? Like, it's
Look
it's
at
like a painted artwork, and
that looks like some James O'Barr shit right there.
Yeah, doesn't it? Like, yeah, it's really cool. So I wanted to shout these guys out. They've always been good to me, and they do campaigns, and then they do distribution through Diamond, because this one came out through Diamond, The Unknown Caller. So that was another one that I worked on for these guys. But yeah, it's a small little company, Invader Comics. They're really cool to work for. It's these guys. Cool. And so I just wanted to give them a shout out. Let me throw that in the chat too, so you guys can check that one out.
While you're doing that, Roland said, "Isn't selling pre-orders a violation of eBay's TOS?" Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Is it?
Maybe if you call it a pre-order, yes. But in this instance, what I would say to kind of game the system is that you would say, this is the book, this is the quantity that I'm selling, and expect to ship at this date.
Oh yeah, you could do something like that. Yeah.
So, so it's not like, it's a pre-order. It's just like delayed shipment expectation.
Sometimes they do pre-orders on there. I've seen like comic companies putting up pre-orders for a cover that's coming out that they don't have yet. They try to sell. So, but I don't know how far out you can do that.
Right. I would have to imagine that when the campaign's live, you'd have to have a certain limit or something, or when the auction is live, I should say. Yeah,
definitely. Well, I think with the store, you can actually set a price and just leave it, buy it now, and that's the price, so
limited quantities available.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, any way you can game the system, do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So our next guests are backstage right now. So
awesome. You said
guests.
How many awesome guests we got coming in?
Two. So
awesome.
We got our friend, our fellow artist friend, Ryan Santos, which I love, and Stephen Becchia, who is also the writer on this book. Now, this is also a book that I've been lettering, so it's like you get a double dose of Keith lettering tonight here as well too. So without further ado, let's bring both of these guys on. Let's start with our pal Ryan. Ryan, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
We caught him
Next
up
level, Ryan Santos.
Yeah,
what's up, Ryan?
Doing some housekeeping.
Nice.
You're in
the
good
studio.
to see you, man.
Yes, I'm back in the big studio.
Oh, I love it, man. I don't think I've ever seen your studio. Hang on. Let me make you large here. I want to see what you got.
Pedro back there?
Yes, it's Pedro. Yeah, right.
Nice.
Pedro,
I like that.
Very nice.
I painted that painting in Fenway Park.
Did you really?
Oh, cool.
That's fantastic.
There was a festival underneath the bleachers, and that's where I painted that live. It's an oil painting. Yeah.
Oh, I love it, dude.
Oh, very nice.
You do a hell of a job with your painting, man. I gotta say, I love it. And let me bring in our other good friend here, Stephen Becchia. Stephen, what's going on?
How are you? Well, I'm watching the Celtics get almost beat here. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, that's not good. What quarter is it? What quarter are we in?
They were up by 20 points, and now they're only up by 3. It's crazy.
Oh, no.
Huh, okay.
But you know what, though? Like, the modern NBA, though, like, you can be up by 20 points. It means nothing.
That can shift like the wind.
Like,
yeah, right.
back in the 80s, if you're up by 10, 20 points, the game's over. But now for some reason, everyone and their grandmother shoots 3-pointers and they catch up, in no time. I guess
and they shoot 3-pointers from almost like the half court, So
that's
like
we
have a third person here, huh?
Oh wow!
Well. And we see we also got Mark. Mark from Fugitive Poems. What's up, Mark?
From the void.
Mark,
Live from the abyss.
Yeah, can you tell I'm using something new?
Dirty
here?
living,
Sorry,
if
fellas.
you guys want.
Hello, darkness,
Let's
my
see what I
old
can do here.
friend.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show, all three of you guys.
Thank you
First
very much.
timers for Indie Comics Relay, which is great. We always usually start out, since you guys are new to the show, we'd love to learn influences, like how you got into comics, like what was that magical comic or, you know, cartoon or something that kind of flipped the switch for you and wanted you to be part of this industry. Is there something you guys can point to in the past? We'll go around the room, maybe start with Ryan and work our way over.
Yeah, sure. I've always drawn since I was a kid. I used to redraw the Sunday comics. So I would take the Sunday comics and I would just redraw them in the margins. But what really got me into comics was one day one of my friends just called me up out of the blue and said, "Someone gave me a box of comics." So we ran down there and we each grabbed a handful, and I got Gru #1, and I got Wolverine #1. And they have been my favorite. They have been my favorite since then. Like, I still love Gru. Keep your eyes open.
Gru's
in the comics.
best.
There's little Gru hints here and there. And then same thing with Wolverine. You know, he's like been my guy forever. You know, so
I love Gru
that's
the
how
Wanderer. I think that was one of the
comics,
greatest comics. So good. Such a good parody of Conan.
Oh, absolutely.
That's so good stuff. How about you, Steven? Is like what started you on the comic journey?
You know, I always wanted to draw. I was a big fan of I first started off with like the Peanuts and Dr. Seuss stuff.
Yeah, me too. Peanuts was my first thing.
Yeah,
Peanuts and Garfield.
Yeah. You know, and then you know, Batman and Spider-Man stuff I was just drawn to as a kid. I used to try to draw, never did well, but I always had these story ideas, you know. But and then as time goes on, it's like I was really, you know, influenced a lot by like Frank Miller's stuff, you know, the Batman stuff, the Daredevil stuff he did, and 300, and of course Sin City.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so that's,
that's good. And Mark, how about you?
I'm going to piggyback off of that. Frank Miller's Dark Knight, man.
It all hit us at the right age, didn't
absolutely.
it? Like, because I imagine you guys grew up in the 80s like I did and Johnny did and Harry did. And those comics just kind of hit, like Watchmen and Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. We were just there to witness that history and then like be blown away by it too, you know?
So
stuff.
Here, I'll give you a time marker. I picked it up in Walden Books.
Oh my God!
In the White Plains Gallery a million years ago. Yeah,
that's where I used to get my books too. Before I found a comic store, there was that Walden always had that spinner rack in there, and I used to always go in there. And I used to get mad because they would
special fancy display. This was like,
oh
wow,
really?
Something different. It's a graphic novel.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
When their racks was the books were always racked too. It used to drive me nuts. Like it just
absolutely.
That's awesome. Now you guys are all all Fugitive Poems? Is that like how's the company work? Like who's in charge? Like what are you guys' functions within the company?
Well, I'm in charge. No, I'm not in charge. I'm
hey! Or are you guys like are you guys like our last guest where it's more like a conglomeration of creatives that come together under one banner kind of thing?
Yeah, man. I mean, that sounds pretty good, guys, right? I mean, as far as we're concerned, these guys are in the family, but you know, so watch out, you sleep with the fishes. No, they're family. We love them. The company is, however, Christian DiMatteo. He is, and James Lines. Christian is one of our head writers, and he's the editor-in-chief. James Lines is the art director and all-around cool guy. And the two of them are co-CEOs, so it's really just kind of their company. And I'm a senior editor, also the COO, so I do I have to look up how to write contracts and stuff. But, you know, we have an executive board as well. The members we don't go parading their names around, but we got some investors. It's really cool.
Wow.
It's really starting to take off. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, Johnny, how's this? We got 2 like homebrewed companies on here tonight.
I know. I love this.
Great, man.
This is it's almost like the how-to business edition of indie comics.
Yeah,
when you put some good like-minded minds together and you actually call to action, this is what it looks like. And Homebrewed Comics, that's what it looks like. This is this is great.
Now, I also got to thank you, gentlemen, for bringing me on as the letterer for this book, Dirty Living. I had a blast lettering it. I love noir, so like being part of the book and then having a nice twist to it. I won't say what it is unless that's like I don't want to ruin it for people. But like,
I think it's out of the bag, right? A little bit.
Was it out of the bag?
We can let that first one
kind of
go,
reminds me. This kind of reminds me of Tony's book, the Star Noir kind of, because but instead of aliens, it's this other thing.
Yeah, right. No, that's not a bad comparison, actually, Harry.
Yeah.
But keep the twist for people to let people go in blind.
Yeah, unless it's on the site or anything. Do you guys say it? Oh,
no. Keep things a surprise.
So if you love noir, I think you're gonna love this book. It's the typical like detective, just a mess of a man, and he gets involved in all this stuff. And I mean, just the title alone, Dirty Living, it's you know what you're getting here. And I love that, and Ryan's artwork just brings it to another level. Like, how did you guys how did you guys find Ryan? Is that like something just meet him at a convention, or?
Yeah, I met Ryan at at the Comic-Con in Providence. And
okay.
Yeah, I think it was like 2017.
Something like that, yeah.
And I was, and I always tell the story. I saw his stuff, and he drew a cover of Negan, Walking Dead, and I was like, "You drew this?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Great, I get a story for you." It was just stupid as that, but we connected, and we just started, getting together and decided to work together. But it's great. It was a good meet, and Ryan's stuff is phenomenal.
It was a great day for indie comics.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
That's right.
Nitroglycerin.
Ryan did a beautiful cover for me for Mighty Mascots, to an issue for my campaign that I'll show you guys right now. This I mean,
all right, hold on. This is an awesome one. All right, if we're all measuring Ryan Santos pieces, I'm pulling up.
Oh yeah, you gotta pull out the Surrounded by Death.
Yeah.
I still love Ryan how you painted.
Well, he's getting that, by the way. Just gotta say, Keith, your work was fantastic on the book too. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
I don't want to let that go by while we're chipper jabbering here.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I do take a lot of pride in the lettering. Like I know it's one of those things that I don't want to say it's underappreciated, but I want to say, like, if you when you see bad lettering, it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And when I take on a project, I always try to match, the aesthetics with my lettering, like what's going on with the artwork, things like that. So whenever there is, like a noir thing, I try to, do the lettering that way. So I appreciate the kind words. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, what medium? You guys are kind of the unsung heroes. It's like you don't know you did your job. It's like the old plumber's adage. It's like right. A good plumber from a bad one. It's like, well, the pipes didn't burst, so he must.
Yeah, right. And you just don't even think about it. It's just fixed. Also, right. My wife handed me this to show. I will. Ryan did a Creature from the Black Lagoon for her. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Very nice.
Isn't that cool?
Is that watercolor?
Cool.
What is it?
Ryan, did you do watercolor on that?
No, it's mostly Copic marker.
Oh, okay.
Marker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It's inked traditionally. It's all done traditionally. So.
And what did you use for the Keith's cover for Mighty Mascots?
Keith's cover was done. It's an oil painting done on paper. Yeah.
Oh,
so
cool.
it's like Yeah, so it's a toned paper, and then I'll just kind of layer my oil on top of it, and it's a really nice surface, really smooth. Yeah, it worked great. I love working on paper with the oil.
Looks really good.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun. The characters are fun. You know, the design is fun, and I just gave it my little bit of.
You fleshed them out, made
juice.
them 3D-ish. That's kind of cool how they look.
A lot of good comments. Roland said good lettering is the good sound design and mixing. People only notice a bad job. Yeah. And Christian DeMatteo said, damn, Ryan, that's my favorite movie monster. My wife said one of my favorite pieces in my collection. And Jess said, oh, that's pretty. So a lot of good compliments here for Ryan's artwork. I love it.
Back in the day, my ex-girlfriend lives or is from Florida, Tallahassee, and I visited the swamp where the Creature from Black Lagoon was filmed. And it was around this time of year. It was like springtime, and I was like wearing shorts and t-shirt. Everybody was wearing like hats and mittens and like a winter coat. I'm like, you're not cold? I'm like, I'm from New England, so I don't get this is like awesome weather.
No, and the other thing I wanted to talk about with Fugitive Poems, I like besides you guys having like a little company here, I like your business. What's the word I'm looking for? Like the way you're going to distribute this. It's like so far it's like just digital, right? Like
well, we got a little bit of a combo going on while we.
Oh, you do? Okay, yeah.
Fill us in. The field's got to see what works out, but Dirty Living is all digital. I was just at a con over here in southern New York, in Croton on Hudson, and we had on the table, the QR code. It's like, hey, just scan this, and you can get hooked up. And basically, it's like a $2.99 a month. Well, not a month, but every 3 months, and you get a new comic.
Cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great. You can read it in the waiting room at the dentist's office, or if where you do all your best thinking on the John, if you're like me. Wherever you got your phone, you've got a comic, and eventually, the idea is, if you got your phone, you got all our comics. But we're not there yet. We're working towards that. We just released River, which is a family.
Actually, let me bring up your website while we're talking, and so we can show off some of the great work that you guys have coming up here.
Thank you. I am not that tech savvy, despite my. But yeah, no, we just released River. It's about a drug dealer gets his hands on a time machine. We had issue 1 on the stands. Yep, there it is. That's the cover.
Wow, cool. I like that idea. Wild idea.
Yeah, man, it's nuts. What's he do? He, little street thug goes and remakes the whole world in his image, and now these Pennsylvania cops got to travel through time chasing after him, and they are not exactly well equipped for that.
Oh wow!
So hijinks ensue. And
cool.
We are on Kickstarter. Hopefully our last Kickstarter product for a little while is Blood Valkyrie in Vegas, and we're still taking orders for it. If people want to support, that would be huge for us. It's on Kickstarter under Fugitive Poems. It's
let me look for it while we're talking.
You can imagine it's it's not one you want to show around at church. It's takes place in the 70s. It's about a innocent young lady that finds her way into a demon blood orgy in Las Vegas, because it's Vegas in the 70s.
Dude, I love these ideas. Like,
that's
wild.
That's Fugitive Poems, man. We're all nuts. Now you can enjoy it. Yep, there we go. So
actually,
obviously
let me paste this in the
this
chat.
Is not for the kids. Yeah, thanks.
Paste
man.
this in the chat so people can check that one out as well.
Yeah, folks, please
that's
support.
Awesome.
Really appreciate it. And in Dirty Living and other things, you're going to see advertisements for Stripper Clip Sally, which is a fun one coming down the line. A stripper clip is actually a type of clip for a gun, but when Christian heard that, of course, he had to make a story about a stripper who kills aliens with machine guns. So there you go. That one's coming, and all of them are great. Alex Zapata is doing the art on this one. It, of course, came out of the Twisted Mind of Christian DeMatteo.
Oh, Doug Wood. I know Doug.
Yeah.
You know
Doug's
Doug?
a great guy. Yep.
Nice.
Absolutely.
This
I mean,
is
that's
great,
the thing
man.
about us. We love doing this, but we love doing this with you guys. You know, we love doing this with the other indie people out there. We want to be the, you know, rising tide that lifts all the ships. You know, we're trying to take something back from corporatized, you know, Marvel, DC nonsense. They only make what's, you know, sanitized and fun. We want to get back to that kind of 90s grind. And
yeah, I
I
love
mean,
it.
I mean, Dirty Living right there. I mean, we love that. That's kind of our inaugural launch here.
This feels
really
like
sets
something
the
you would
tone.
see on the shelf to counter program to what you would see in the, you know, the 90s. You know, this was
Yep.
like I said before about that other book, Keith. This could be like a Vertigo book or, you know, early Image book, something like that. Dark Horse even.
Yeah, man, that's
yeah,
exactly what we're aiming
absolutely.
for.
That's cool. I love that vibe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we call ourselves like basically like a grindhouse kind of thing, just because there's really not too much out there that can kind of encapsulate everything. But like, you know, we try to get a little Love, Death, Robots, you know, Black Mirror kind of thing in there. We like to go
Yeah, I
a little
love
Twilight Zone, but ultimately,
That's
at
cool.
the end of the day, there will be blood.
I love that.
Kind of.
It's like Roundhouse, but Grindhouse.
Yeah, Grindhouse. Yeah.
Well,
That's
you
what we're
guys
going
have
for.
like you guys have a ton of, it looks like a bunch of different books. Like I see
Yeah,
River issue 1, Containment Breach. Are these all like different
all of them are
creative
there.
team?
Yeah, they're all purchase. They're all available for purchase. And I just heard where you were going with that. So Containment Breach came out of you know, the big pandemic there. James and
Okay.
Christian decided to kind of link arms with other creatives and put together these anthologies. We got people from all over the country and all over the world, some of whom have never met before, you know, just putting their heads together and coming up with some great stuff.
No
And
kidding. Wow.
we've got 4 volumes of it. We skipped one last year, which we regret. We're going back to it. You heard it here first. We're going to be going back to Containment Breach at some point, either this year or next. Probably next. We got a lot coming out this year. But, you know,
Was
we just
Containment
love
Breach
getting
your
everybody out
first?
there.
Was that like the first book that came
Yeah.
out of Fugitive Poems? Okay.
Yes,
That's
sir.
cool.
Yes, sir. It was. We had the first one, which was just Containment Breach. It was very small. You know, it was just a few people involved, but it made such a splash. You know, and the guys got addicted to it. They were like, "Okay, we need more of this." So,
I love
you know,
it, man.
yeah, we
So-
got out
so
there.
what's? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, please.
No.
I feel like
so-
I'm doing too much talking.
No, I'm just wondering what that oxymoron was about. The Containment Breach. You know, what's that about?
Oh, it's related to the pandemic. It was like, you
Okay.
know, yeah, we're busting out.
Okay.
we're getting back out there, and we're spreading our disease is essentially what we're doing. Here you go. It's in comic form.
Hopefully it's
but yeah, the
infectious.
first one is just kind of like, you know, whatever was popping into our diseased minds at the time. But then we had Myth. Oh God, I'm forgetting the title now, but it was centered on Myth. The third one was Of Clouds and Ether, which was more of a sci-fi kind of vibe. And then the latest one, Monsters, Beasts, and Bastards, was straight up horror. And, you know, we just had a lot of fun with all of them. And the best part is, you know, like Christian and James will throw in like one, James will do the cover, but everything else inside is other collaborators. I got a story into volume 4. We got a lot of names people recognize, and more importantly, names people don't recognize, because like I said, we're trying to break out and we're trying to take you all with us. So, you know, it's really been a really rewarding and wonderful enterprise, and we're just getting started.
I love it. And Steven, have you written any other books for them besides Dirty Living, or is that?
No, I did submit one story idea. Christian was thinking about adding it to the next Containment Breach, so we'll see.
We're not done with Steven.
Oh, good.
We're not done with these guys. These guys are they're in it now. They're in trouble.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love what you guys are doing. I think this is like, we were just talking in between guests a few minutes ago about disruptors and like, you know, people that are doing something different, you know, to get their work out there. love it. I applaud you guys.
This is
great.
inspiring. This is like true indie comic, like inspirational indie comic, call to action kind of stuff. I love this.
Yeah, man. I mean,
do you think this is the next phase?
Doing it, but...
Do you think this is like next phase in like creatives like joining forces and forming a super group? Is this like the next thing that?
I kind of think we have to. I mean, look at what we're up against. We got a corporate machine. I mean, we got the mouse in charge now. It's you know, and look what they're doing with our beloved stuff. It's not, you know, it started out pretty good, and you know, it's getting into a weird place now.
Well,
and,
not only that. I'm sorry, Mark. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just going to say, and while they're sticking to that mainstream stuff that people loved in the 60s and 70s and the rest of it, all that grit that came later kind of got, you know, that's not okay for audiences, so we're pushing that aside. Well, we're not. We're picking it up, and we're putting it right back on the shelf, because guess what?
Well, that's what I was going to say too, like even small companies, like small publishers now, they don't even push creators. Like you got to do everything yourself. Like you have to have like your own social media presence. You got to have your own newsletters, all that, you know, all that crap, you know, like, you know, so and that's the service we're providing at this point, is if we get a creator, I can't talk too much about things that haven't happened yet, but there's things in the works with guys who are like, look, I got a story I want to tell, you know, this guy wants to do the art, but we don't know how to get started with it. And we're like, well, guess what? You got, you know, an art director here, you got an editor in chief, you got a senior editor, you've got, we've got connections with this person, that person. If, you know, we need somebody to jump in and help out, we got it. And, you know, we're still expanding that stable of people that we hope to just kind of be able to tap when help is needed. And we'll get that stuff out there and hopefully start making some big money at it and throw it. Wow, okay, Ryan, what's going on, everybody? So you just came up from like an elevator, you know, like when a kid does that. Like
I thought this was Caddyshack for a minute. It was like the Gopher Rising.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Are you guys all based
good,
out
man.
of the Boston area? Like, are you guys all in Massachusetts?
I
know
am.
Steven and Ryan are.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
I'm in New Bedford, Dartmouth area, South Coast. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm in Hudson.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is the whole rest of the team?
Yeah, Hudson, Massachusetts. Yeah.
Oh wow, you're not far from me and Keith then.
Oh, okay. Where are you?
Yeah,
guys?
I'm in Leominster, and Johnny's in Sudbury.
Yeah, you guys are right around the corner.
And Harry's in Leominster too.
Yeah, my hometown's Westford though, but
I used to spend a lot of time at the Horseshoe Pub.
Yep. I still go there. They still have hundreds of beers on tap.
Yeah, that place is great.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
now, to getting back to Dirty Living, I was going to ask, is this going to be a monthly title? Is it, or does it have an ending to it? Like, is it a mini?
Well, you want to take that one, Steven?
Yes. Well, you know, the crazy thing is, as I'm writing it, I just like see this blowing up into a longer arc. But I'm going to try to do what I originally set for is 8-issue arc.
Okay.
And then, but it just keeps growing as I'm writing. I had like the story idea and I started writing it. I have like lots of dialogue written. And then, you know, I just figure out the panels and then kind of write it all down. That's kind of how I work. It's kind of weird, but works for me. And so as I started digging into the dialogue, I'm going, wait a minute, this is so much more. And something just happened actually in the third issue that I wrote that kind of set things forward in a different, almost a little bit of a different direction, but a good direction, at least as far as I'm concerned. So I'm excited about it. And then there's all these other characters. There's this other granny character who I came up with another story.
Oh yeah, look at this. Hang on.
There she is, right there.
I think he was surprised that. Oh wow.
you know who she reminds me of?
This is actually the cover for issue 3.
Oh, is it? Okay. So we're getting a sneak peek.
I could give you a little.
That's where I've seen it before. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, I've seen that before.
I haven't seen this, guys. This is hot off the presses.
That's great.
That
cool
like
cover,
Granny
man.
character reminds me of like that character reminds me of Maz Kanata in Star Wars, that orange character.
Oh
yeah, with the goggles, you know what I mean?
Or the old lady from Kung Fu Hustle.
Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah.
Or maybe
The curlers.
Yes.
Or maybe the old lady from Golden Girls.
That's awesome, Ryan. Came out good. Also, Johnny popped up while we're looking at Ryan's artwork. He popped up the Surrounded by Death cards here that Ryan did.
Do you still have those originals, Ryan?
I do, yeah.
Are you going to be at Terrificon this year?
I will, yeah.
Bring them, because I'm going to do a gallery of all original art of artists. A lot of artists have been giving me the original art of our pieces, and I've also been collecting it. So bring it, because I want to hang it up in a Galleria format at the booth.
Oh, absolutely.
Yo, all you Massachusetts guys need to come down to Terrificon, man. It's a great one.
Yeah.
And
we'll be there.
Be camped out right next to these two. We're going to be
go.
there.
That's right.
Oh, so you guys at Fugitive Poem will be there, the whole team?
We're going to be there. These guys are going to be there. We're going to have everything we talked about tonight. By then, we'll probably have there for purchase, or at least be pumping up the stream.
Dude, this year's Terrificon's going to be epic. Like, I'll come by and say hi to you guys.
Please, man.
Me and my wife will have a table probably somewhere in the Artist Alley area. And then Johnny usually has like a booth over.
I'm just waiting for Mitch to get back to me. Call me, Mitch. Call me. I paid you. Call me.
Yeah, Johnny, you better. Have you reached out to him yet?
I emailed him. I just got to do another reminder email. I went about things very stupidly when I applied this year. So,
yeah, hopefully he has something for
I'm
you.
sure. I'm sure he's good for it.
But yeah, look at this. Mass Holes Unite. I love that.
Yes.
There you go.
But yeah, no, that's great. I'm glad to see you guys are going to be going to conventions. Is that the first big one out of the gate?
Well, I mean, these guys are no strangers to these.
Right. I see Ryan all the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially these New England ones, right, Ryan?
Yeah. I'm mostly the Northeast. You mostly do New England. I was in New Jersey a couple weeks ago now for super something or other. But I'm trying to stretch out a little bit more, trying to get out there. I feel personally I've gotten more in demand and popular over the last couple of years, so it's just makes sense.
Not a bad problem.
The more people see your artwork, and then
yeah.
Even though like making those trips out of state are a little iffy because you gotta get like the hotel room. You know what I mean?
So I was gonna say my good friend Brian, who does shows with me, he loves Ryan's art, and he's now dubbed him Next Level Ryan Santos, which I really love that nickname for him.
I know.
He's already next level, if you ask me. I love Ryan's artwork.
Yeah.
Ryan, are you doing Haverhill next, or not this weekend, but the following week? I know sometimes you're at that show.
At the
I think that's where I met you last year, actually.
At the library one? No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you're not doing that one. So then I probably won't see you till Terrificon then. I think. Okay. And then
forget it. I'll just come down to Fall River and have a beer with you, Ryan.
Hey, absolutely. If you're interested, on May 10th, the studio will be open. So,
hang on. Let me.
So we have an open studio.
Is this where you do most of your work, your comic stuff?
Yeah. So this is where I am right now.
Oh, okay.
So
that's cool.
It's in a big building with a whole bunch of studios, and we're going to be open. I'll have all the pages here in the studio for you to check out. So
for Dirty Living
on the wall. Yep.
Oh wow!
Giving away the farm. What are you doing, Ryan?
Giving away the farm.
So come on down, Ryan.
Tell me to
yeah.
If you want to find out the story, you're gonna grab that whole archive.
Oh my God! He's gonna think the whole enterprise. This guy. Nah, it's great. I mean,
come on down.
Listen, I mean, again, we're here to make money, of course, but you know, we're having such a good time with this, and that's the best part of all of this. You know, we gotta bring that end of it back as well. You know, it's not. Yes, it's a business. It's not just a business. You know, this is the arts.
Right, and you do it with friends, but that's why when you have like a group of people that come together like this, it's you guys can help where some people have strengths in one area and weaknesses in another, and then the other person can swap it out and help out in that area. You know what I mean? It's like you guys lift each other up and help each other in different spots, and I think that's great. I really do. Like,
I'll tell you something. One thing I've learned doing this is, when I'm not an artist at this point, but I almost went to art school and I took art my whole life, and I always thought to myself, this is self-expression. This is just all me. This is something that I could do. The older I get, the more I realize, art really isn't a democracy. It's something that not if you want to really get it out there and do something special with it. If you want that, you got to have other people's input. You got to find the right kind of writer. You got to find the right kind of letterer, inker. You got to find people who can contribute something. And I mean, the unsung editors, we do something too. Sometimes you think you got the world's greatest idea, and then you hear something else and go, okay, yeah, that's a little better.
But sometimes those editors need to channel that energy. Like sometimes the story's too big, and you got to the editor's great at getting to the essence of what matters, and that's why you need it, because sometimes you're in your head too much and you don't see it,
And how can you create and live in that world and edit it? It's inhuman. You're not going to do. You need someone on the outside who's not in your head to look at it and go, okay, here's what's going to happen when we put it out for mass consumption. We need to cut this. We need to add that. Whatever it is. But
move things around. Roland has a great point here. Whole bunch of triangles joining together to form a solid wheel. Couldn't have said it better.
I've always said a good creative team will fill in for the deficiencies of the other creators. So
100%.
Artist sees what a writer doesn't see, writer sees what an artist doesn't see, and vice versa.
Yep, absolutely.
Well,
and everybody brings something different to the table.
Yep. What were you saying, Harry?
You saying, Harry?
I was going to say, it's kind of like I always say, like the Super Friends, watching them grow up. Like whenever their computer lights up and there's like trouble somewhere, like there's like a right person for the right job. You know what I mean? Like Aquaman,
Chuck.
I love group teams, because like there's always somebody that can handle one particular kind of job, and this person is good at this job, but together you guys can do it all,
And one guy has a secret, and that secret is he's always angry.
I'm not, right? I won't tell.
It's like to quote the Avengers and the Hulk or whatever, right? Because that's the fun thing. Every character has a fun thing about them, right?
Did you guys hear this, by the way? Speaking of Hulk, Johnny, you shouldn't have done that. Luke Ferrigno is going to be the next Avengers movie. Did I see that right? Like, it's going to be playing a variant or a version of the Hulk.
That tracks. Cool. It's Secret Wars. It's gonna, it's gonna be a conglomeration of all the properties put together into one movie.
I mean, I think it's still in pretty good shape. You can probably do it, maybe briefly, But they won't.
And that was our Harry incredible tangent of the day.
They're not going to use any CGI on him or anything. I think he's still in pretty good shape. I met him like 2-3 years ago, and he seems to be still there. I don't know.
Could be interesting.
If you look really quick.
Only if he wears the powdered wig.
No, of course.
That was my show growing up, man. I would love to see that.
Oh my God.
Don't get Harry started.
Mine too.
It's actually a running joke that Harry's a big fan of the Incredible Hulk, and if we're not mindful, we trigger him like we just did.
Right. I can go.
It's like saying the secret word on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
It's like my Niagara Falls,
It's Niagara Falls.
Slowly, I turn.
We have a video that we play, but it's too long.
It's too long. We're off the rails.
We have a video.
Let's circle back around now. Let's circle back
Harry
around now.
Just talking about the Incredible Hulk multiple times. And it's so funny. But anyways, getting back to Fugitive Poems.
Yes.
Any other exciting books, or what's the year look like for Fugitive Poems?
Oh, well, I mean, it's always hard to, say too much, but of course, Dirty Living is going to continue. We got more. I think, what are we, about like 2 weeks out on issue 2, give or take. And, we're going to keep going with that until Steven's hand falls off or he drops at the table. I hope we don't overwork him. He keeps coming up with new ideas. He's going to do this forever. But we got that. We got, like I said, Blood Valkyrie in Vegas is on Kickstarter right now.
Okay.
It needs your support. It's, I mean, we're really blessed with the artists we get our hands on. Guys like Ryan. I mean, the detailed work that this guy's doing, it puts a lot of the big boys to shame.
I agree.
I actually have a question about that actually.
Okay.
So in this book here, obviously it takes place in Boston, so your references, are those real places, real buildings that you reference to draw from or paint from or whatever?
I mean, I kind of write in, like, I wrote the Tobin Bridge because it's it's something I use the term the Mystic River within the script. So I use common Boston stuff, and then it's up to Ryan to kind of figure it out. Like, I kind of take some general streets and this, that. I'm like, Pearl Street or whatever. And then Ryan just kind of goes off of that. But
a lot of it is kind of fanciful a little bit. Like, I give it a lot of liberties.
Right.
So a lot of the specific buildings are actual buildings that are maybe not in Boston, but they're places that are close to me. So I haven't told you.
I got you.
So there's some real places that exist there. Like the police station is a real building. So I can actually run down the street and go sit on the steps of the police station.
Oh, cool.
Some of the alleyways and some of the streets actually, like, Street View.
Nice.
I'll use Google Earth.
Google Street View. That's great. I never thought to do that. That's actually genius. I like that.
A little bit, but it's everything just has that old school flavor.
Right.
A little bit of, like, because I lived in Brooklyn for a while, so a lot of some of the street, the doorways and some of the streets are actually like Brooklyn.
Right.
But it's just still that old world feeling, a little bit. Everything's run down. I try not to have that. There's no, like, nice glass buildings. Like, it's not, it's not downtown Manhattan. It's not that. Yeah. I never draw a straight line.
I hate straight lines. Yeah.
All the buildings are, like, wiggly. So
that's good though. That's like, that's art. I love it.
Yeah, it's part of the feel,
Yeah.
So
one question I had for you guys about the subscription on the the Fugitive Poems. Now, does the subscription encompass all of your books, like all Fugitive Poems titles?
Yeah, well, so it does not at this point. Right now, we're just talking about Dirty Living.
Yeah.
And it is going to be a piece by piece.
I gotcha.
Because number one, we want to keep the costs low.
Yeah.
And number two, we don't want to, like, force people to buy stuff that they don't want in order to get other stuff. But we are eventually, when we get more product up there, we're probably going to have an all access pass kind of situation where for one fee you get everything.
Yeah, that's a good idea, I think.
Yeah, and, we don't want to make it hard, that's for sure. But we, maybe even, like, where you can stack some things and we'll, put it all together for you. But as it stands right now, Dirty Living is our only subscription service. But
gotcha.
Stay tuned. There's more coming. You were saying what else we were doing this year. Like I said, we got Blood Valkyrie is one thing. We got that. That's a hard copy that's coming in the mail. Beautiful artwork by Alex Zapata. If you don't know him, you need to know him.
It looked great from this, just scrolling the campaign.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's amazing. Like I said, we've been blessed with our artists, On top of that, we got Stripper Clip Sally is coming. And we're at the phase where we're still kind of deciding what's going to be digital, what's going to be something that people are going to want to hold in their hand. But we're going to be having some series that just need to be series. Some funny things coming, like Blood and Guts funny, but funny stuff. A little bit of everything is on its way, and it's pretty much just three guys driving this thing, so it's going to take a little while to get everything going.
Yeah,
but
like our last guest builds, build up slowly, because you don't want to get it out of control and then like not be able to sustain it. Sustainability is the toughest part with being on this small level. That for sure.
We can point to global comics scaling up accordingly. Sorry.
Yeah. You don't want to like build too much in one place and not, we got to also watch the business, make sure that, we're all, we're not overextending ourselves, but we're out there now making alliances. We got a really great young person working in the media. The young person, God, I sound like a freaking 80.
Boomer.
Yeah, right. Chandler Kid is her name, and if you see any of our socials, and we're on almost all the socials at this point, we're working on TikTok. She's behind most of that. She's kind of becoming the public face for some of these things, and we're out there. We're making connections with cosplayers, with other influencers, streamers.
Yep.
So it's going to be a slow build, but it's a big build. And it's
I
gonna be
love
a
that
thorough build. And when everything comes together, we're really hoping for big things.
Yeah, I look forward to see where Fugitive Poems is in 2026. And so keep it going, guys. I love it. Before we wrap up and get ready for our last guest of the night, did you guys want to just shout out some socials, like where people can find you and that kind of thing?
Sure. Go ahead, Ryan. I think I'm muted.
Yeah, sure, start with Ryan.
You can check me out, The Art of Ryan Santos, on mostly everything. Ryan Draws Too. You can go to artofryansantos.com. That's another way to find out more about me.
And is Ryan...
Well, come to the studio. Come to the studio.
Okay, yeah. Is Ryan currently available for commissions or no?
Yes, no. I'm always open for commissions. I know. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Nice.
Yeah. So
he is, of course, folks. I'm sorry.
Yes.
In between pages of Dirty Living, he has to get 5 of those done, and then he can do
in between cracks of the whip.
Yeah, right.
I know. I got to keep the lights on in this place.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
So
Let
yes,
the man
commissions are always available. But if you want it for a show, order early.
Yep, that's the way to go. How about you, Steven? Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram and Facebook, TikTok. You can just search my name, Steven Betcha.
Okay.
I Google me, it comes up. And
Yep.
So I'm also taking commissions.
Show them your painting.
Nice.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, I do art. Not.
Oh, I didn't know that. You did too.
Not real art. Not real art like Ryan's art. But,
okay.
No, I do like abstract stuff, cubism stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm also ghostwriting a book right now, for somebody that it's a paying gig, so it's great.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so I'm doing that on the side as well. So keep myself busy, but just plugging away on Dirty Living as well. So
one quick question, Steven, is Dirty Living your first comic that you've written?
It is, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
I can picture
it. It came out great. Came out really good. The writing's strong on it, dude.
Thank you.
The main character, Doug Kelly. That's who it is, right?
Yeah.
I can see Dennis Leary, like a younger Dennis Leary, playing him.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's good casting right there. Yeah.
Maybe if he was younger, maybe a few years ago. Maybe.
Yeah.
Not right now.
A younger Dennis Leary is very much a product of Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Right.
Roland wants to know if you're ghostwriting for James Patterson.
Yeah, no, I wish. No.
That's
J.K.
awesome.
Rowling.
Yeah, right. And Mark, how about you? What social media? Where can people find you?
They will not find me because I hide from that kind of attention.
Oh,
But-
Dark, and then the darkness.
Man, smart man.
Yeah,
Where'd he go?
He's about to sing Mamma Mia.
as you can see on the name card there, mark at Fugitive Poems if you want to reach out to me. And I don't know why you'd want to do that, but go right ahead. But Fugitive Poems is on, I think, we're on Facebook. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Threads, I think now. We're on Instagram, of course. We probably have our best presence on Instagram, just because that's the one we all know how to use the best. And we're slowly moving into TikTok as well. But if you put Fugitive Poems out there, you're going to find us. Fugitivepoems.com, of course, gets you to the website. Everything we sell is available there. We if you get on our mailing list, which is growing exponentially, we're getting more and more information out there about what cons we're going to be at. Lately, we've been showing up at a lot of horror cons and tattoo cons. Those are our people, man. They love this stuff. So you might see us at more of those than at comic book places, ironically. But we will be at Terrificon.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I mean, that's out of the
Looking forward
box
to
thinking, though, for shows. That's smart.
We went
Smart
to a
to
place
go.
in White Plains, New York, called Blood and Ink. And it was such a great little thing. They had like circus sideshows going on. They had different horror actors there and the rest of it, and tattoos everywhere. And I got one, and
oh, nice.
It was just awesome, and we got a ton of attention. And we said, "What the heck are we doing, hanging out with the cape and cowl crowd? We need these bloodthirsty people to."
It's all art anyway. It's all art.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen other creators go out to other different shows like that, especially if their book warrants it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Gotta go where
them yet. So
yeah, no, it's great. Gotta go find that audience. It's awesome.
Blood and Ink, that's us, man. We got it.
Blood and Ink and boobs.
Thanks to guys like these two, and I mean, come on, I gotta give a shout to these two, by the way. Steven, he can write. You want him to write something for you, throw some money his way. Ryan, come on, look at the art. Just look at the covers. You don't even have to crack open the book, and you want this guy. Please pay them because we can't yet. But we will be soon.
Well, that's why you're working towards it, though. You're working towards it.
Exactly. I mean, someday it's going to be a very different story, but we're on our way, up and coming. Please support Blood Valkyrie in Vegas on Kickstarter, folks. It's really a trip. Just don't leave it on the church pew, and don't show it around grandma.
Right. I love it. And if you guys go to the chat, I just put the link for the Fugitive Poems
Thank
website.
you again, man.
Yeah, no problem. And then you can connect to the Kickstarter that they have live there right now. If you're watching this tomorrow, the link for their website will be in the description of the video. So check that out. Another up and coming small publisher company that's doing good things. And thank you guys for coming on the show. We appreciate it. And I will come over and definitely see you guys at Terrificon for sure.
Yeah. And Keith is
sure.
Lettering is coming up for this next issue, so just be ready.
Okay, yeah, let me know. I'm ready to go, guys, whenever you need me. So just let me know.
That's
You got it.
Awesome.
We'll be in touch.
Thanks for having us.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Nice
And
meeting you guys. Take care.
yeah, absolutely. Great to meet all of you. And
You too.
and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you guys.
All right, guys.
Absolutely, man.
Have a good
Thank
one.
you so much.
See you, Brian. Take care, man.
Awesome, man. Two
That was really cool.
publishers. Actually, we got we're gonna keep
going
up
into
that
one
theme
more
tonight. Well, yeah, we're keeping up that theme tonight because
Yep.
we also got another publisher and another campaign that's going. And both of those guys are here. So if you guys are ready, we'll roll
Let's
right
go.
into
Let's
the
let's
next
keep
step.
it going.
So these are two guys that we definitely love. They've been on the show multiple times. We got Bill Mouse and Tom from Committed Comics, both on with us tonight. We weren't sure if Tom was coming, but he did. Bill said he would try to get him, and it looks like he did. So
Nice.
no further ado, let's bring them both on here. Let's start with Mr. Bill Mouse.
Hey,
what's
how's
up,
it going,
Bill?
guys? It's good to see you
What's
guys.
up, man?
man.
All right.
It's a long time no see. And then also Tom, what's up,
Thomas?
man?
I found him. We're only 3,000 miles apart, so it took me a minute to
get it
grab
all
him.
connected.
Come.
Love it. So what's going on, gents? I feel like it's been so long since the
I
last
know,
time I
right?
saw both of you guys.
Tom, I'm typing in the description for the. I see I can restream this so we can reach more people. So I was actually typing in the little description to the restream button.
Oh, do you need me to? Will it work while we're live, or do I need to boot you and then you?
Oh no, it's working while we're live. In fact, I'm talking
Yes.
to you, and the pop-up window is actually blocking.
Oh,
my
nice,
face.
love it. Yeah, why not, dude? Bring more people over, you know. So what's been going on with Bill Mouse and Committed Comics since the last time we saw you guys?
Oh God,
I am feverishly drawing the rest of this here book. Here, I'll show you. I've got the pencils for some of the interior pages.
Oh, hang on.
And I'm actually I'm going to switch cameras, and I'll be inking while we're talking. So that
perfect. I think the last time you were on, Bill, was you were promoting the Zen Nira crossover. I think.
Yeah, that's right. Because sorry, I was gonna say I backed that campaign.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Very nice. Yeah, I got
we
the,
just
one of the best.
we just recently finally delivered that one. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
There you go, man.
Yeah,
I love that mouse.
Awesome perk. I love that one.
That was part of my bucket list. I told Tom, it's like I always wanted to have these kind of mouse pads. Like I see them out there. Where do you even make them? Tom's like,
are those the
I
first
know a
time you've
guy.
done? Are those the first time you've done cheeks, or those usually you do breasts, right? Those,
but I wanted to be an equal opportunity.
Okay.
We're an equal opportunity, offender. So we have
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I love that because honestly, not a lot of people make books like that anymore, and I love that you guys are still doing that. I think it's great. There's an audience for it.
I got this like early image, splashy, sexy character superhero image mentality. So it's where my brain lives.
I love that though.
It's
like
just a lot of fun.
It's so niche now because it used to be commonplace. Like every book was like that. And
Right,
now
exactly.
It's
Yeah,
so niche now.
Which is kind of cool. It's like, hey, we're the vinyl of comic books.
Right.
Yeah. I also think that a lot of the people who were doing it didn't really have a love for that genre. So they were doing it because, like you said, in the 90s it was hot. It was everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
So that's what everyone was doing. And then when it shifted to Walking Dead and it shifted over to zombies, right? And that's those people followed that trend, and then when it went to, anti-heroes, they followed that trend and they just kept going.
Right.
Feels like, no, I'm comfortable. I'm good.
Yeah, draw what you love. I've watched movies. I mean, I've seen like movies that are bad movies, but you could tell they really enjoyed making it. So you enjoy watching it. And you can tell when you watch a movie that's got a high production value, but everybody's phoning it in. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like I got a car payment. We got to finish this. It's
right.
And you could tell that with any kind of entertainment, especially art and movies and anything visual like that. You could tell the energy that people bring to
put
it.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So luckily, people have supported me long enough to get better at the craft and
because you've produced how many Nira X issues now?
Oh, there's I kind of wish I didn't do miniseries this whole time because there's probably
a question we've got a couple times now. People have asked that.
Exactly. There's at least 70 issues floating around.
Oh shit!
Between
and it's like all
another.
through all these different minis.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like
that must be a nightmare to try to. You guys need to do an omnibus now. So
the one that we did do when I first got the Nira X license, that's over 300 pages.
Oh wow! Okay,
that's not even all of the early stuff.
Oh no, that just collects up the first appearance, which was in Zen number 0, Zen Intergalactic Ninja number 0. That was her very first appearance in like '93.
Oh wow!
And then it collects up like the first, I think, 3 miniseries that we did with Entity Comics at the time.
You own all the rights, Bill? You have all the
I own all the rights to the characters again. There was a time there was some years when I was publishing with Avatar Press.
Okay.
And with Avatar Press, when I got the rights back, for all my characters and stuff like that, they hold the rights to all of the material that I actually did draw for them. Those books.
Okay.
So they're the only ones who could reprint those or have those in stock. So I couldn't make an omnibus or anything like that with that material.
You have to get permission from Avatar to do it.
Right. It's their material. Right. Exactly. But anything
Are they
new?
Still around? Are they still in business?
I think Avatar and Comic Cavalcade. They're still they still do business, and you could still find like the old Nira X books. They still have them in stock. I know that they've got.
Oh,
them.
cool.
Yeah. So if you want to find the more exotic adventures of Nira X, you can find them. You can find them there. At some point, I may pull the trigger at some point and just continue the numbering system. Just keep it going. It's just like no matter how many issues.
What if you did like?
It
I know
sells.
you have all these miniseries. What if you did like what Dark Horse used to do with
or what Marvel
with
did with the legacy
Hellboy?
numbering.
Yeah, they have the legacy
Yeah.
number, but they
Yeah.
also had the arc numbers. Like it was always like
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
You could do something like that. I don't think a lot of places do that anymore, but Dark Horse was doing it for a while. I don't know if they still do.
I like to have a chronology to it. Like a little bit of. I mean, granted, Nira's stories bounce left and right and up and down. It's like the stories are based on what I feel like drawing.
Yeah, right.
So it's a very, very like a personal playground. Is the approach that I take. So we had a pirate theme going this time because I really wanted to draw mermaids and zombies. So it's like, so there we go. She's a very.
This is the end. This is the end of this series, right?
Yes.
Three?
Yeah. This.
Okay.
Yeah. This wraps up this series. And if
okay.
anybody missed issues 1 and 2, Tom did say that we have issues 1 and 2 available on the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So that way, if people wanted to, just pick up the whole book all at once, just the whole 3 issues all at once.
So did you kickstart 1 and 2 after the Zen stuff? Oh wow, that's crazy.
I've been going back and forth. Actually, I'm doing another Zen Kickstarter for the next issue of that Zen book. About a week and a half after we wrap up this Nira Kickstarter. So that's like my overlap, and so that I know exactly what I'm doing for the next 3 months.
Yeah,
that's cool though. I mean, I love that you keeping it going, man.
Yeah,
why not?
sure.
You created this character that you've done so much work with. And so I guess that must be part of the fun. If you love it so much, you keep going with it, right? It's like one of the
delusion. It's one of the
delusion.
Right
now he's in a straight jacket and we can't see it. We're just in his head.
I was watching your Easter drawing of Nira and holding the egg.
Oh yeah. In fact, I still have to ink that one. I'll show it to you.
That was
okay.
pretty.
I still didn't adultifies it yet.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. That's
I like that, man.
Pretty
Came
cool.
out good, Bill.
So that was our Easter special. Yeah, I do a live stream on Saturdays.
Yeah,
it's an art jam live stream. So while I'm joking around and talking with people in the chat, they're throwing ideas at me, and basically it's their fault. Whatever it is, I end up drawing in the hour and a half that I'm drawing. It's on them, and then we auction off that piece that night, and then I let them know that I'm going to ink it afterwards, and they get a finished piece afterwards, and modify it a little bit, this and that.
Did you ever watch anybody growing up doing the same kind of thing? That your live stream drawing? Because I remember.
No, I grew up in the '70s, so I didn't. I saw Bob Ross.
Well, there was a guy.
He was painting them happy trees.
Right, but Bob Ross. There was Bob Ross and that angry German guy that also was on PBS Channel 2.
Well, there was that dude on Sesame Street that would paint numbers on the top of bald-headed dudes, like the letter A.
Right. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. But there was also this guy named Mark Kistler. Is a guy who does similar kind of drawing, not booby drawings, but he would draw like.
I'm into all types of art.
Yeah. He would draw
sure.
like you mentioned, this dark seas thing. But he would do he would pick let's do sharks today, and he would draw quick little shark drawings, and he would have a thing called he'd be drawing with the kids, because the kids at home could be following him along, and he'd draw a shark swimming this way and then one that way.
Mm-hmm. I never watched that. I mean, that's what I did for my daughter when she was small. It's like when I would leave to go to work or go to the studio and stuff. I would draw her like a bunch of Sharpie like dolphins and orcas. I used to draw caricatures at SeaWorld. That was kind of like my boot camp.
Oh yeah, right.
Back in the old days. So I would draw like some quick drawings like as I'm heading out the door, and then when I came back, she had them all colored up in crayon and color pencil and stuff. So I was starting the sweatshop early.
And now she draws too, right?
She's actually busier.
Very
than I am.
talented.
She works for a company out in LA called Storyboard, and she colors graphic novels, and she's working on a four-issue series right now, and each book is like 90 pages.
No kidding. Is that recent? Like, because I don't remember her being this busy. That's cool.
Oh, she's been pretty busy.
I think she's always been busy, but it's just how many projects she has on her plate at one point.
Right.
That's great.
Much
That's
like many
fantastic.
freelancers will shift.
I wrangled her into helping me. She's actually doing the colors for the interiors of the Nira X book.
Oh,
and,
cool.
And after that, she's got time slotted out to do the colors for the interior of the Zen book. So she's so she's bouncing back. She's actually been doing it professionally now for about 12 years.
That's great.
Which is crazy to think that I'm that old. It's like, holy crap.
Are you planning on doing more with Zen and Nira crossing over, or like?
The series that I'm working on right now, it's going to be issue 2. It's called Zen Bounty Wars, and she's crossed over into that story. It's like a 4-issue miniseries.
Okay.
That we're doing with them. Right. And that's going to be through First Comics. And then the co-creator, Steve Stern, I've worked with him since the 90s, since 93, since we started. He's the one doing the script and writing for that. So we're good to go.
Kevin said, Bill, you're only 39. Remember that.
Oh my God. God bless you, Kevin.
Whenever you start throwing around ages in comics, I always like to point to the meme of like Stan Lee was 46 when he created Spider-Man, and
I lean on that hard actually.
Yes,
it's like
yes.
he started when he was that age, like so I'm 55 now, so I'm about ready to be discovered.
Kirby was 64 when he illustrated Fantastic Four, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But see, nobody told me. See, a lot of these guys, like Kirby, and they had military careers before getting into comics, and so it's like, wow, I could have had a pension and then I could draw comics. It's like
it's not bad.
I never wanted to join the military. My dad was a Navy man. He was a Navy
But
man.
you have to realize that Jack and Stan were in the military when there was an active war.
Right. Not a lot of choices.
He was a mapper. He was the guy who did send out as a bullet sponge to draw maps and then come back and report back. So.
I would have been drawing the hot chicks on the side of the planes. I'm sure I would have found that job at some point.
Somebody had to do it, right?
When like the first appearance of Nira X is on the side of a B-52 bomber.
Yeah, riding.
I hope time travel is eventually invented so we can have Bill Mouse go back in time and draw half-naked girls riding on bombs.
If it involves me getting a pension at the end of the day, so I don't have the stress.
And if it involves me getting cages, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, right.
Can you imagine what comics would look like if Bill Mouse went back to 1940 something? Wow.
How many jets would have to fly by to read the whole story?
Yeah.
What happens at the end of the book? It's like, wait.
You'd have to get to cover bomb them, like different bombs without the comics.
Yeah, right.
You got to read them fast before.
Yeah.
Dude, I know, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Are
you still doing? Is Don Chin doing anything with Prairie Press lately or anything?
Not lately. He's been up in Eureka, doing family life and living the everyday. But I've already dropped a little hint on him, saying is like, hey, when you, because I noticed that he does like the freedom of when he's got an idea that comes to him that's like, okay, this is like a really funny idea that I would like to pursue, as opposed to I got to grind out something funny for next month.
Yeah, so he waits for something to come to him.
Right. It's like it's kind of like learning a piece of music, or like a stand-up comedian. There you go. Like a stand-up. Yeah. You kind of like get your act and you whittle it down, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then come out with your fully formed thing in about like a month or two or whatever, after so many different. So I think he's got he's got ideas in his head. So when one lands well enough, I'm sure that we'll do something again. So
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So so he's percolating right now.
He's percolating. He's waiting for the right moment. I know this is his natural habitat, so he will return.
I look forward to. I miss him in this space. Like, you don't see him around as much.
Exactly. Well, it's hard to continue to promote and be like in the YouTube space when you don't have like that project that's like current to promote and stuff. So I'm looking forward to him coming back and
that'd be great. Like,
getting around and stuff. Yeah, I think of him as family. You know,
I wouldn't be surprised, Bill, if he gets the bug after I send him that stuff to sign for getting books in front of his face. So basically, we have some for the campaign as an add-on. We have some vintage Nira and vintage Zen books that I picked up that Bill's going to sign and remark.
Right.
And so with some of the Entity Press ones, since Don was the publisher, I was like, I'm going to send it out to Don and have him sign it too. And so I messaged him, and he's like, oh, having so much fun.
No, that's amazing that you actually thought of that, because that makes it a complete thing, especially with those vintage books. Don and we co-founded Parody Press when Parody Press first started, and then we co-founded Entity Comics, and then Zen was our very first book with Entity Comics. After Zen had been just finished up an Archie series. Yeah. And it was right after the video game and some of the toys and stuff like that. And then we took it from there. So, and I was I got lucky. It was kind of a checkbox for me, because I didn't think he was going to let me write it, because he doesn't let anybody write Zen. It's like it's his
with other books. Is that why, or is it like?
Oh, it's just his baby. It's like it's just one of those things where him and Dan Cody, they were the co-creators of the character. They built it, and so the fact that they let me, take it for a spin around the block, and actually put my own character.
You're talking about Steve Stern, not Don Chen.
Yeah, you're talking about Steve. Yes, we're talking about Steve. Yeah, Don was really, really nice with me. He's like he liked. We had a similar sense of humor. I think he's got like 2 slices more cheese than I do, like as far as like the cheese level. Yeah. But it's like we like that. So some of the things he was writing, and then he let me write like a majority of everything that we did with Parody Press. So yeah, that was the 90s were magic, dude. It's like we did so many friggin' books. It was crazy.
Yeah, I missed that time, and it was also a lot more readers too.
Yeah. I mean, we had like 4,000 more comic shops than we did before the Diamond collapse thing, and I'm not even talking about the Diamond thing that's happening now. I'm talking about the one that happened back then.
It's all cyclical. It'll bounce back around. You know what I mean? Like, look at. I mean, we were talking about Liefeld and Youngblood earlier. It's like, he's having his resurgence right now. So it all comes back around. There's always a time where
it's back, baby.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, since Diamond came up, I'm curious to see where indie books are going to land once whoever this new owner takes over or whatever.
So the unfortunate thing, I have a feeling, because again, I'm old, much like Bill, and I've been on the retail end of a lot of it, for a good chunk. Before I did Committed in '99, I was a retailer for 10 years before that. And so I unfortunately have a bad feeling that a lot of the indie books are going to end up right around the time frame. I think it was early 2000s when a company called Colcut closed up.
Oh, I remember them,
Yeah, they were used for independent books and also a lot of reorders. So they would order extra copies from Marvel and DC. And then when Marvel and DC and Dark Horse would sell out, retailers would go to them to pick up 3 more copies of Spider-Man, But they would also have a ton of independent books in their catalog to fill those pages and to fill that, kind of keep business going consistently. And, when they went away, so did a lot of small independent guys. I have a feeling if the new buyer doesn't open up the same kind of welcome mat to the independent scene, I think it's going to stay with Kickstarter direct to consumers, which is that's not bad.
No,
but
not
it does
bad.
Change the model, and it changes everybody's potential.
The models, everything's evolving differently because we have a different level of access. We have a different level of being able to sell directly to the fans. We have a different level of technology right now.
People consume things differently too.
I see Roland in the chat has a question.
Yeah, I saw that. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, for sure. It's I'm not positive if it was with the Pummeler parody, but I think I think it was either with one of our X-Men parodies or the Pummeler parody. We had one cease and desist letter that I know of.
Did you really? Oh, wow.
Right. But it was a friendly shot across the bow because legally you're allowed to do parodies.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's but at the same time, we're friends with everybody. And if somebody, if somebody is telling you in a friendly way, hey, how about you stop doing that? It's just like, okay, out of respect and stuff. We don't want to make it into a thing. We're not here to actually make you angry with us. We're having fun with, we ended up being like the Weird Al of comics. We're only.
I was gonna say Weird Al. Yeah.
We're doing the parody, and we're only doing parodies of things that we love. We're not making fun of those properties. We're making fun with those properties and just making them ridiculous. And they're obviously parodies.
Right.
But that was like it was just one time. There was a second time that I personally, and I was completely wrong. I thought there was a problem with my Savage Dragon parody because I had heard from a person, which is, of course, the worst way to hear news.
Yeah, I was going to say the worst way to do it. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's fake news. So I heard from somebody that Eric Larson had, like, he was very upset over the fact that I did the Savage, the Sewage Dragoon is what we titled it. And, but we're connected on Facebook. Years later, I'm a lot more connected with so many people.
Funny,
I would go to shows, but I was completely disconnected because you spend all your time working at your booth,
right?
And then not really networking and meeting people. But now it's completely different. I see people all the time. We're connected on Facebook or doing live streams like we're doing right now. I see Keith Gleason more than I see some of my family, and I already know how often I see Keith. So
right.
So it's just one of those things. I'm at the studio all the time, so I'm always in my cave. But thankfully, because we were connected through Facebook, and somebody mentioned something in a thread or whatever, so I asked him directly, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I thought it was funny, like whatever, like it was cool, like." And I was just like, I've been sweating it out, hiding from the law this whole time.
Didn't Mad Magazine do that with everything? Mad parodied everything. Yeah, right.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, how can you be upset about a parody? It's like a form of it's like when people roast you, it's like it's an honor. Like it's
all that area really stems from. If you know the person, right? Like that's the thing with roasts, right? Roasts are supposed to be done because you know the people,
right?
And you have insight and you have an understanding. It's when someone who you don't know at all starts taking shots. And also, I mean, some of the quote unquote parodies, they're parodies, but if they take the character and show them in a unfavorable light,
well, I see what you're saying. Okay, wait, here's a good example. When I used to work at SeaWorld drawing caricatures, okay, our booth always had 2 chairs for artists. So that way we can draw more people and it's more fun. Got a lot of people interacting, whatever. There was one person I would never like to work with because I would draw them like ridiculous. I'd blow things out of proportions and really have a lot of fun with the people. Yeah. But no matter what this other person did, it was like offensive. Like it was just offensive. Okay. Like to the point that people would some people cried when they left, and I'm just we're gonna lose. It's like, can I take a break? I just need to take a lunch break. Like if you had a gap between your teeth, that person would take the pencil and just go, there you go. And it's like, it wasn't a compliment. It wasn't having fun. It was actually mean. Like the difference between making fun of somebody and having some fun with somebody.
Right.
So all of the parodies, when I work on parodies, that's my mentality, is that I'm having fun with the character. And I'm, it's like if I do Star Wars and I put in potatoes, there's not a hidden message between that there was something going on with the French fry industry, and I'm just got a beef with something political, or you know what I mean? It's like it's just having some ridiculous fun putting.
You're not dealing in adrenochromes or anything like that.
Yeah. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that Jerry Springer clickbait energy. Where I'm trying to start something with somebody. I'm just like, hey, this was funny. It's like it was just a joke. Good comedy. Good comedy.
Yeah. No, that's. Yeah, I just never understood that. Like, I feel I would be honored if someone made fun of something, you know.
You stung them just right. You stung them just right.
You
When
see,
they read
that's the
that,
thing I
it
was
like,
sensitive about.
You got someone just good enough.
But I've always been kind of like not easily offended either. So like, I think that might be, you know, there's certain like, I guess, sensitivity levels, I guess. Or...
There's a comedian sense of humor, and then there's the common public sense of
humor.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, you have to have. I mean, you don't have to have the thickest skin in the world, but you should be able to make fun of yourself, and you should be able to have, especially if you're willing to make fun of other people. You know, you should be able to have fun with it and go back and forth. I remember there was a time when I drew this character. I made him up. I designed him. I was really proud of this character, and he had kind of like if you took Spawn's mask and kind of like just put his eyes together, so it's just one piece.
Okay.
And there was somebody that just came up and it was just like, yeah, it looks like Nightwing, you know. And this is back when I was like 18. Okay, so I thought I knew everything, right? And I was just so offended. And I think back on that, it's so embarrassing that I was like so offended. I was like, it did look like Nightwing. What am I talking about? It's like it's a mask. It's like everything is derivative. My answer should have been, I don't draw that good. You know, that's what my answer should have been, instead of me justifying that I had spent so many hours designing this mask that looked exactly like Nightwing, but it's not really Nightwing.
It's like, and that falls back on the old, you know, attract them with honey more than flies, or with more than vinegar, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's, you know, be cool with people. You know, it's like get a chip on my shoulder. At the end of the day, what do? I draw pictures.
Yeah.
I used to get in trouble for this in school, and now they pay me, so I should be saying nothing except thank you.
Like, I'm always worried.
Sometimes you paid me in Cheetos. You paid me in Cheetos. That's how we made our first deal.
Ego is always. I've always said that ego's been the great destroyer of comics. Yeah. So
the fact that people rock star me at all is like, that's one of the reasons I didn't. One of the reasons I didn't really try to go with bigger companies, because I was in animation for a while, and
I was going to ask you that if you ever did anything with animation.
Yeah, I worked on Mamato for Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Oh, okay.
That's what for Saturday morning.
That was like a Fox show or something,
right?
Cartoon,
Fox. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah. I still got a little bit of a tickle, so I'm going to mute myself for a second.
I think we all do.
Tom, take over while I cough my head off.
Yeah. It's going around, Bill. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, I know.
I was at a convention this weekend myself.
It's everything.
It is.
Everything.
Johnny got back from a convention. He's sick. I've had bronchitis the last 2 weeks.
It's also that time of year, and it's spring. Yeah,
it's just that little bit of whatever.
Dogs and cats living together.
You swallowed popcorn wrong or something.
Oh, I hate that. It's the worst.
So
it's like in your mouth for like 3 weeks. You know.
Oh, I hate that. That's the thing. I got over my cold last week. It's like at the beginning of the week I was fine. So, but I know for the next 2 weeks this thing's gonna creep up on me. So.
Oh yeah, especially
it is what it is. I got Delsum.
Oh, nice.
Okay, there you go.
Give me 2 hits of that.
Plug.
Yeah. So you were saying you worked on Killer Tomatoes for a little while.
Yeah,
did you like animation, or was it like you prefer sequential art?
I loved it. I loved it while I was working on it, but I wasn't really animating.
You were just doing like the key.
I was doing the turnarounds
for
the.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, that's the other thing with animation. When you look at animation comparative to comic books, which is sequential storytelling, animation is really that upper level of structure, right? Yeah. Because there's so many moving pieces that you have to have, you know, somebody who's going to do, you know, the keyframes, someone's going to do turnarounds, the character design, you know, and so like you could literally work in animation for 15 years and never actually have any of your artwork show up on screen.
Right. Yeah.
And some of these guys I idolized, you know, it's like, but the feedback I would get from the other guys that were working there, and they worked on everything. I was really looking up to these guys because some of them worked on The Simpsons, some of them worked on like Fire and Ice, some of them worked on, you know, you name it. It's like a who's who but every single time a project finished, they'd have to pack up, move to another state because that's where the next project was at another studio. Yep. And they were kind of like, it's a real grind. Now when I got into comics is really my first love. It's that's my me getting into comics was like, okay, cool, this is where I live. Yeah. But every single time I met somebody new and I was just like, oh, this is great. I'm meeting somebody who's actually working on this book. They're on the radar. That's so cool that we're actually getting along, making friends, right? And all they talked about was that's why I'm not naming names because that sort of thing. But they're just like, oh, you get to do what you like. That's my dream. I would like to draw my own book. I would like to draw my own thing. And it's like, well, if you want to be broke, go for it. It's like that's my life. Like I want to draw Spider-Man and Deadpool, like like the guys I'm looking up to, or whatever.
Yeah.
So my dream was to do what they were doing. Their dream was to kind of like pull back a little bit and do something on their own. And that's
one of the reasons why when you look at Image back in '92, I mean, each of those guys who were the superstars of Image, they grinded for 10 to 15 years at Marvel and DC. Yeah. So by no means, like they understood, hey, if we're going to go ahead and do this stuff on our own and our own creations, we're going to be broke. So how can we minimize that? Well, let's just do as much as we can and stack up as many dollars as we can.
Well, and gain as many fans as they gained. They formed Image at the perfect time when they had their biggest followings, and that's why it succeeded. It's like
that's the pinnacle of striking while the iron's hot.
Oh, dude, yeah. They could not have timed it any better. They couldn't have done it.
And I don't think. and again, it's one of those kind of things. I know there was a documentary about the Image guys that came out a couple of years ago, and that kind of stuff. And again, it's also something that will never be reproduced.
It can't. No, it won't. No.
You had too many factors at too many times and too many variables that you'll never be able to. Because people are like, well, you can do it now because of Kickstarter. No, you can't.
You notice that's exactly when they stopped promoting artists as the actual reason to buy the book.
Yep.
They started promoting, everything was character driven instead of
everything was well, I mean, the funny thing is that's always how it was at DC. DC was always the characters came first. Right, and then you were working on that top point in time with the character. Whereas Marvel took the other approach because, again, they have to have on each side of the street. Yeah. And so after 93, they pretty much shifted, or actually not after 94, 95, they shifted and they started to adopt DC's mentality. And DC around that time frame kind of started to adopt the Marvel mentality of promoting artists.
Yeah.
So it was one of those weird things to where.
So being a cog in the machine wasn't as attractive to me anymore at that point. So I think I'd rather be like a fairly big fish in a small pond as opposed to like a tadpole in this ocean of bigger companies.
So I was just even going to say in general, though, because I feel like one of the big differences and, one of the key factors in the fact that, like, as we're saying, this can't be replicated is the fact that there's a certain level of dilution now, where if you look at the 90s, it wasn't like where everybody was making comics. Now, like my high school, I went to high school at teaching like classes on comics and giving everybody the bright idea that, everybody can do it. God bless them. And I'm glad that comics have made it that far, but it also, like we said, it dilutes things.
It does. So, now we have technology that makes it possible for anybody to jump in.
That's problematic.
But here's the thing, though. It's like you really don't stick with this unless you really love it.
Yeah.
So, everybody has a dream of doing that one book. So once the 1 million people get their one book out of the way, they don't really want to do it every month for the rest of their lives. You know what I mean? It's like
they never stop making those 1 million people, though, right? It's almost like rolling. That is a thing. It's rolling. You'd have to have like a real like Thanos coming in and snapping 50% of the indie comic creators or all comic creators away kind of thing.
But that's where the market comes in. So like the market always decides who rises to the top and who, you know what I mean? It's like, it's never really up to us at all. It's always up to the market.
Aren't you happy to have done it when you did it? Because now with AI, around, it's like everybody can like push a button and do it.
I am so happy that I got in on whatever it is I could get in on during the 90s because that was the best possible time to get in on anything.
Yeah.
As far as like the comic book world. Yeah.
I, amongst the 3 segments we had tonight, I can't remember who said it, but when we're looking at a product that's AI, it looks like something that I can't remember who said it, but like when an actor is just trying to, pay off a car, it's like it's soulless, right? It doesn't
is it like when the Terminator tries to pretend to smile?
Yes, exactly.
It's just like, okay, it's AI, it's perfectly rendered. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it looks
that's
like
the problem.
It's forced. It looks,
that's the problem.
You can tell.
Yeah. So it's missing that charm, and that's that will never succeed until it's flawless. And even then, that.
The imperfections are perfect. You know what I mean? Like that's what makes it perfect. Because the all the little like the realism or the soul.
The thing that gets me about AI is the people that are just downloading it, and it's like there's a lot of AI images that are they're amazing. Of course they're amazing. They're done by a computer. Of course they're perfect. Right. But the thing that they will be missing out on is something that they probably wouldn't be a part of anyway, because of the kind of consuming that they're doing. They wouldn't be a person that would go to a comic show and buy an original piece of art from an artist anyway. So those are the types of people that we're talking about that are consuming it. So the thing that I find that's missing is the connection. Because when I buy a piece of art or an ash can or like an original from somebody, I want to have that memory of having met the artist. Or at least having the connect, even if it's just on Facebook. Oh, I bought this piece of art from this guy. Like there's a street artist that his name is 1000. Okay, I've never met him. I'll probably never meet him. But I bought some stuff off of his merch, off his merch store, his online store, and I follow his YouTube and stuff like that. And some of his stuff actually influences my work because it's just the way he paints and the way he does stuff. But I got merch from his store, from his little warehouse, that his people packed up just for me. It's like, so I feel that little bit of a connection with a real person who enjoys doing the same kind of stuff that I enjoy doing. And you're not going to get that with anything that's just made digitally by a computer that got a prompt. Those are the connections that I think are missing. Not whether or not a computer can pull it off, because of course it can. It's like
to that point, Bill, a little bit is that I back on Kickstarter only because I see projects I like and I'll back that. I do that because that's kind of like the mainstream right now, and that's
it's become that. Yeah,
it's sometimes the only place I can get that book. Right.
Yeah. I agree.
But I so much prefer to be able to walk up to a table, have you pitch me the book as I'm flipping through it. Like that whole experience is like part of the cost of the book for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, when I'm buying ash cans at a show from an artist who's like right there, and one of my favorite experiences was buying an original piece of art from Arthur Adams in like 1993. At his table, he had original interior art from like Monkey Man and O'Brien Gen 13 crossover.
Oh, cool.
And I bought like an original page. It was the first real original page that I had bought off of an artist that I actually looked up to. And I think I bought it for like $250. Is nuts, right?
Yeah.
Right. Thinking that you could buy anything that he drew for $250 now, But yeah, it's just that connection. That's what it's all about, is connecting in that way with an actual person.
I had that same experience, but it only came to me retroactively, Bill. So I don't know if you remember NYCC Special Edition. We had that like 1 or 2 special shows where they did this like summer NYCC, and at it then Ryan Otley set up, and he was selling off original pages from Invincible, which in 2015, that was like nobody knew Invincible unless you were reading it.
Right,
and then
right.
I bought and I forget the character's name, but the electricity character. I bought the page of his first appearance, and I have it, and I've sat on it, and I didn't really think much about it, and I didn't even really realize how big Invincible got until I was doing my lap around T2E2, and I got to Ryan's booth, and it was chaos. It's chaos all around, and and he's trying to sign. And there's a woman who's standing on a stool trying to manage things, and she kind of sees me off to the side looking, and she goes, "Can I help you with something?" I was like, "There's no original art here," and somebody just laughs. And then as I'm walking, and I was like, "No, I was just looking." And then as I'm walking away, I told some guy who was waiting in line, I was like, "Oh, I bought original art from him in 2015, and Ali says it's worth a lot more now. And I just like it blew my mind because I didn't think about that until then when somebody was like, "Hey," you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, because you bought it because you liked it. It was interesting to you. I mean,
right.
Yeah,
I remember going in the '90s. I have an old. I bought like for $100 a cover. Do you remember the artist Paris Cullins? Used to work on a lot of DC stuff.
He was in DC, right?
Yeah. I bought a New Gods cover from him when I was a kid, like in the '90s, for like $100. It's like one of my favorite covers of New Gods, where it's like Orion's on the ground and all these feet are kind of crushing him. Okay. And the cover had like all the overlays too and everything.
Yeah,
like,
because they all had to do paste ups on it.
It had all on there, and I have it framed. I'm looking at it right in front of me. But I can't believe the deal I got on that. You know, as a kid, when I was a kid, it was like $100 was a lot of money, and I was like,
hell yeah, are you kidding?
But now you look at it, like I got that for pennies. I got that for a steal.
It's a lot of money today too.
Back then is like all the money in the world.
Yeah, no, there's plenty of artwork that I bought that went away with my original collection, because my original collection, unfortunately, no longer exists in my world. And I look back at that, and I can't stop and look for too long, because it's kind of like the sun. That if I stop and think about it too much, it'll just burn my eyes out. But you know, it's just like the amount of covers and artwork I had, because I lived in New York, right? And so I worked in comic stores, so we had people in for signings all the time. You know, we used to, two of the people who used to come into the store all the time and do signings around Halloween time frame was Dave Cockrum and Bernie Wrightson.
Man,
so
tell
that
me,
right there.
Do you have a Bernie? You had a Bernie Wrightson?
I didn't. I never had a Bernie. I do have one piece of Bernie Wrightson. Actually, no, I take that back. I have two pieces of Bernie Wrightson original artwork now. They're both preliminaries, because at the original time that I bought from Bernie, the preliminary, that was all I could afford at that time, which I think was maybe $60 is what I paid. Okay. Right. So that tells you how far back that was.
Seriously. Oh my God.
And that must have been mid 90s, because it was one of the books that he did with Thomas Jane and Tim Bradstreet. It
was published under Titan.
No.
It was like the label or something, right?
No. It was like Bad Raw. Yeah.
Raw.
Bad Planet was the book.
It's
the one where the aliens coming out of the spaceship.
So cool.
That's right.
Yeah. So I got that. And I've got that preliminary, and Bernie signed it for me, and that kind of stuff. And then more recently, I ended up getting an unused preliminary from the Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein.
Oh, really? That's some of my favorite work he's ever done. Yeah.
And again, the only thing I could afford was the preliminary, right? So like you go from my original time frame to when I was like, 16, 17, couldn't afford anything, to now where I have a full-time job and everything, and I still can't afford anything.
Man. but I tell you, when it comes to original art and AI art, I think because of where we're at right now, and because it's like basically the Pandora's box is already open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The thing that I'm going to stop doing, because I did this at first, because the way they rolled it out was kind of offensive. The way they rolled it out. But the thing that I would not do, I would never demonize anybody for enjoying it, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I save a ton of it on my phone. It's like I see really cool ideas, I see armor ideas, I see lots of, the fact that you can mix up 20,000 ideas like quickly, using AI.
Yeah, get like a snapshot of something.
Right. It's like, I'm not using it for my own, personal art. I'm not using it for my comics myself. But I'm not going to demonize anybody else for enjoying it, because is the only thing that I don't like about it at this point, because I can't argue about it like I was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I would not like about it, or the thing I would be against now, is if you did use AI art and you did not admit that it was what it was.
Yeah, right.
That's the only thing. It's just say what it is, because it is amazing. The technology is crazy.
this little slice of time where I could write comics. So I actually turned to AI as a tool that now the transcription services, the way it can transcript audio and voice better than it's ever have before. I do a good chunk of my writing now conversationally with AI.
Right.
And then so all my ideas are down pat, and then I can simply say, hey, could you give this to me broken down in this format? And then all my notes are there and ready for me. Then I can take that and edit it and make it the right pacing. So as a tool, great. But to replace the ingenuity, the process.
Well, see, that's the only thing. Not to replace, not one to replace the other. That's the thing. I was hoping AI was going to solve like cancer and fuel problems, so that way I'd have more time to draw.
We're waiting for that.
I want to ask AIs like, hey, how do you put all this money in my account so that way I don't have to worry about bills? How about that?
It was kind of funny because like yesterday or Saturday on Free Comic Book Day, I actually began this conversation. There's like with people in line, to get their drawings done, But you can. I mean, I'm an artist myself. You can use AI as a tool, like Johnny was saying. I mean,
sure.
Maybe just to give yourself an idea of how you might maybe you can't visualize it.
Sometimes it helps with a layout, right? I would think like for an artist, you would use it like a mannequin or something like that, like where you want to see
exactly right,
maybe
like
a 3D pose or like that kind of thing. Like whereas writers like Johnny,
I see Mike and Mindy in the chat, and they're talking about some of their variant covers are done with AI. But I know that Mindy goes in on top of the AI art, and she does like all of her own stuff on top of it and adjusts it, doing a bunch of things to it. And they're not covering up the fact that some AI was used in the art.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's perfectly fine. That's actually perfectly fine.
Like you
the
said,
only thing I didn't like was
honesty. Right?
The honesty. Yeah, because there were people going to shows and they were actually pawning off their AI artwork as original artwork.
Yeah, right.
So it's only the dishonesty. That's it. If you say what it is, then that's there's a place for that.
And you can kind of tell it is AI work too. If you look at it, I'm like,
There was a guy, and this is before AI at all. This is just filters. Okay, so this guy was taking like Jim Lee. Yeah, he was taking Jim Lee artwork and Todd McFarlane artwork, throwing it through a couple of filters.
Being done.
Yeah, and making prints and then passing it off as though he actually drew it.
I've seen a couple of those guys at shows.
I used to set up at the hotel at San Diego. He'd be right outside the boom party, like trying to sell stuff like that.
Paul wants to see the AI video of Bill as a baby on TikTok.
All right, Paul.
I don't know what that means.
I am going to San Francisco right now to put you in your place, son. Don't do that to Bill.
One of the things about AI that is problematic if someone is using it for a tool incorrectly is it's very similar to people who look at comic book panels in order to how to draw people, right? And this is what I see when I do portfolio reviews consistently. You are replicating somebody's mistake time and time again, and that's also part of the problem with AI. Since it's harvesting other people's artwork, it's also harvesting other people's mistakes. And so if you're not careful and if you don't understand perspective and if you don't understand anatomy, you're still going to get the goofy looking panels and pages. But you're going to be reinforced that that's what it's correct, that because AI told you that.
Right,
and it's like, no.
I think they actually have a warning on some of the AI search engines and stuff. They put up a warning saying that, it's in beta or something like that, because they realize that a lot of the information, because it's harvesting info, like you said, off the internet. So where's that all info is coming from, whether it's accurate or not. So some of the AI information that you're getting you might have to do a little bit of cross-referencing just to be sure that you're getting
the warning you're lying to yourself by using this.
No. But to Tom's point, I did read something about some woman on, I think I read it on Twitter or one of the social medias, was talking about how her company wanted to hire AI artists to like work on stuff, and then so she was totally against it, but like she kind of embraced it just to see if she could make it work. And the problem she found was exactly what Tom was saying, that she was asking them to come up with certain things she wanted to see. But because all those guys, all they know how to do is do prompts, they could not recreate what she wanted in like an art language, like, you know, I want
to actually describe it and be descriptive,
right?
and
Exactly,
to guide it.
because all they know how to do is prompts. So
yeah,
so she was like, "Well, this gives us a little hope, you know." Like
I can't wait to use it. I can't wait to use it to animate some of my artwork, and I want to do keyframes like myself. But then I want to put it into something where
is it able to do that yet or no?
Oh, so I did something from Surrounded by Death recently, Keith. Hang
Did
on,
you really?
I'll pull it up real quick. Yeah,
will Nira X be animated one day? Do you think, or
I want to see traditional animation.
Thanks to AI, she probably will be.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Tomorrow.
No, I want to get an awesome Japanese
but
artist.
if I'm allowed to do like my own keyframes and basically guide it from there, it's like, wow, it's like that would be an amazing tool.
I mean, it is your work.
And I don't see myself like I was never ever going to have the budget to hire a team of animators, so that was never going to happen whether I used AI or not.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
If AI used your work or manipulated your work, is it still cheating? And if it's your work and you're giving it permission to use your work to animate it or whatever right? Is that?
Well, here's the thing. Anything that I put on the internet, I'm just assuming it's out there. You know, it's like I'm not going to be offended if I see it mixed in with other people's things because I already know that everything's on the internet. It's just.
I mean,
it's
bottom
out
line
there,
is
you know?
the PDF copies of Nira X Reborn and Dark Seas are already on illegal download sites that we don't get a penny of.
Yeah, it happens, and it's bound to happen regardless. So it's part of the business. I like there was a guy I forgot who this guy's name was, but he was talking about DVD sales. And he was like a higher up in some company, blah, 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 with, talking about film, talking about DVD sales and blah, blah, blah. So he was talking about the Pirates Bay, everybody going to, people going there to basically download stuff. So he's like, here's the thing. We actually use that. We're actually not angry about it. We use it. We use it as a gauge of popularity for a certain movie. So we know if somebody's willing to steal it and watch it, that means and these are people that would not have bought it in the first place.
Right. But they can gauge that like an audience might.
Right. They gauge it that way, so like if we offer, if I offer a PDF or something like that, I'll go ahead and offer like a high res PDF because I want people to come to me for the high quality stuff and not have to go somewhere else. And it doesn't have the digital, security features and stuff like that on it because they're going to download it from somewhere else. If they download it from somewhere else at a higher quality, then why would they even come to me in the first place? At least support my campaign,
right.
At least come over and give me $5 instead of running over to somewhere else. And then,
But even with the piracy though, they proved with many leaks that occurred with that, Wolverine Origins movie that was terrible. They leaked the full thing in advance, weeks beforehand, unfinished, and
that's hurtful. I think that hurts the product.
Yeah, it hurts the product, but it still actually broke records when it came out.
I bet, but they gave them a gauge, right? Yeah, it gave them a gauge for how hungry people were to get that content, right?
Yeah, and then you look at how Deadpool's even made. They leaked a trailer, right? And then that's kind of what.
It accidentally
leaked. But it accidentally leaked, right? That's a controlled burn. Like that's a lot.
Right.
That's clever marketing.
There you go. See, Mike is right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with you, dude.
Same thing with the Wolverine Origins, right? Like they leaked that, and I remember when that happened, and it was very clear that was unfinished work. So that's why it broke records with people going to see the movie. Is because they liked what they saw in the rough. And they wanted to see the final.
Right.
So, AI is slightly different and different levels of pirating is different because now you have things that are going straight to digital. Well, guess what? If I pirate that, it's the exact same quality that you can buy from Amazon Prime.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to step on your time, but just as I was pulling up the example I did, right? Here's the funny thing. I had to work hard to get this little prompt. And this is really just something I did for frame of reference. One of my characters from Surrounded by Death is a battle mime, for the lack of a better description, who is, imagine just Jason Statham as a mime, right? So right now it's at the level of like flash animation.
Okay.
Right? So if you look at that.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
But see how he turned from one direction to the other? It actually showed the turnaround.
But it also transformed his weapon from a sword to a gun magically. With they see that?
Right.
And then to that point, can someone else recreate that?
That's better than any flash animation I did back in the day.
So there's the live action version.
Wow.
Oh, wow. And you got that's pretty fun.
Right. So again, just something for fun, not something where I'd say, "Oh, this is viable to release as an entertainment product."
No, but you can
now
stick
gives
that in
me
a trailer.
frame of reference. Right, gives me frame of reference of what one of my ideas could look like in a different context. So if I ever wanted to go to an artist and say, "Hey, I want to do like a live action looking cover of my book," I can feed them this, and they could use that as an inspiration. Right.
Right. You combine the tools.
It's guiding light.
It's like when George Lucas could do everything digitally, so he did everything digitally, even the sand, and it looked weird. I'm just like, and now they're just like, okay, there's a combination of like live action effects and computer effects. You got to find that right combination. Yeah. So that way the artist is still involved. You still have a creative input. You still have like the massive, computer brain actually backing you up. To make it like look cool. So when you have that combination, then it starts to work. Then it starts to turn into something. You get everything involved. Get everything involved.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I as much as I want to continue talking about AI, I know you guys are here to actually promote something.
I know we're supposed to promote a book.
Yeah.
It just goes to show how easy we can talk shop, right?
Oh
it's
my
just
god,
like
talking shop is fun. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
I definitely want to share your campaign out too.
Please do. We need all the help that we can get. We got some good goals. We want to get to 200 backers. That's our goal for this campaign, is to get to 200 backers.
Yep.
You got 17 days to go. I don't think that's undue.
Yeah, you'll get there.
You guys can do
doable.
that.
That's doable.
Did either of you guys want to talk
well,
about
congrats on smashing that goal so far.
Yeah, exactly. It's great.
Yeah, no, I mean, trust me, I'm extremely happy to where we are. It's just one of those things to where, and you guys know this from doing campaigns, right? You want to top the previous campaign you did, right? You want to keep moving forward and keep moving forward and keep moving forward. And I mean, just like Johnny, when you were showing off the stuff that you got from the previous campaign, I build these campaigns because I want to be the recipient of whatever the package is, right? Because that's why I throw in as many ridiculous things as possible, and so that's why I want to get to the 50 backers and the 200 backers and the when we get to 150 physical backers, like who actually get rewards, I'm going to raffle off $100 print value or print valued at $100. It's the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive print that we did. That's signed by Bill, Jeff Eagley, Dan Kemp, and Jimmy Palmiotti.
Nice.
So,
cool.
Oh, and remember we got a big giveaway right after the campaign too.
Yep.
And this is one of the pieces. This is actually one of the pencils for one of the covers. It's the Gang's All Here cover.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yep. And we're
make a big, Keith.
Oh yeah.
Back
up, Bill.
Just so everybody can get a better look at that.
Look
at that. Oh my god.
So we're actually going to give away. There's going to be this cover and 3 interior pages, and it's going to be given away to 4 random picked backers. And I'll give you an example of one of the interior pages.
Oh, hang on.
And this is after the campaign, is completed, and it's all the pledges have gone through and that kind of stuff, and it also includes digital backers. So we are literally going to.
So you'll ship out to a digital backer?
I will ship out the stuff to the people.
Because Tom is crazy.
That's a gigs to move right there.
It's one of those kind of things that it's just like, look, we want. We are doing this because we enjoy this. That is why we are making comic books, like Phil was saying earlier. We like making comic books. We're just insane like that, and so we're doing crazy things.
You gotta cut a Crazy Tom's comic giveaway.
In other words, you need to be
like you're selling used cars, but you're we'll ship out for digital files.
I give it away, but my wife won't let me. Wait, I got no wife. Let's give it away. So yeah, like a $200 ish value, of an interior page coming to you, for the low price of a $5 digital tier. Yeah. But hopefully you check out the campaign and you see some other things that you like and pick up one of the covers. Is of course what we hope for everybody.
Stuff, huh? A lot of perks and everything.
Tom sets up a really, really fun campaign. There's a lot of stuff. All those extras are in the add-on store, so it's like you just pick the tier that speaks to you the most, and then when you get to the add-on part, you can still add on like all of the individual things. So you're not going to be missing out if you don't get a specific tier.
And the only thing we do have, some of the things are one-of-one add-ons, like the vintage books that Bill is remarking and that kind of stuff. And then we had some black and white sketch cards, that Bill was going to do original artwork on. So it's like, yes, we do have all these different add-ons, but some of them are super limited, which is why I tell people, look, get in there early and lock it in.
Right.
And these are all the things you're basically getting for free. So you're getting a thank you print, you're getting the retail cover signed by Bill, you're getting a little refrigerator magnet of one of the variant covers.
I love magnets and stickers. Gotta have them.
I love the little standee you got there too. The standees, those are cool.
Standees. And we actually have a backdrop now that it comes with the third set. And you can also, so you just buy the third set, you can get the backdrop. If and we also have it, if you didn't get any of the standees, you can get them all together with the backdrop. And it's going to be 11 by 17 backdrop.
I was going to ask you this before because somebody had asked me and I didn't know the answer. The backdrop for the standees, is that made out of cardboard or acrylic, or how is that actually made?
Yeah, so it's going to basically be probably on 14-point cardstock. So it's not an acrylic standee. Like that size right of shatter.
There you go. Yep.
Oh, that's a great idea. And how does it stand up? You just have to put it against the wall?
Yeah, you just got to figure something out. I mean, look, I did that version. The reason how it's standing there is I put it in the top loader, 11 by 17 top loader, and I put something.
Oh yeah, I see it right here. Yeah, that's cool. I like that idea though. The standees, I've been circling those for a little while. They are very sharp. I like them a lot.
They're really cool. I really like them a lot. And then we have some of the previous standees available, and then of course we got the two new ones. So there's 6 characters in all when it comes to the standees, and then the artwork.
That's great.
The artwork for the backdrop is actually the wraparound cover. It's a 1-of-1 wraparound cover for like the big tier at the bottom of the list, which comes with like everything.
Goes so good with the standees though. Like I love it.
When I was taking that picture, I was like, oh, this looks sweet, and I almost wanted to superimpose the 2 new ones in there, but I was like, it's not going to look the same.
It's like
those Presto Magics or something.
Or that too. I was going to say it reminds me like a diorama. Take a shoebox.
Yep. Yeah. You can put it in the back of a big shoebox. Take a comic book box, and you can stick the backdrop in there.
We've all done that.
Good stuff, man. These covers are great too. This time
covers
around,
are phenomenal.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the fun ones actually, because of the fact
cat mouse cover.
Which one's that? Is that?
Back up. Yep, that's a cat mouse cover right there.
Oh, Cat did this one?
Very nice.
Okay.
Yeah, Cat did that one. And,
I was gonna say, I really like that. Those are my favorites of all of them.
Oh, nice.
And then it's John Stinsman's birthday today, so he actually did the variant cover for issue 1, and then he did a nude version for issue 3, so you can get it and kind of bookend your collection there. So.
I do like the Elektra Assassin one too.
I was lucky this time out. Mikey Babinski is a good friend of mine. He's done a lot of inks for Marvel, DC. I mean, he's done like Scarlet Spider, She-Hulks, and just so many different books. And so he did the inks for the Gangs All Here cover, and he did the inks for the Homage, the Bill Sienkiewicz story.
So cool.
Homage coverage.
I love it. And then is there a perk you guys been directing people to, or specifically, or just anything? Or
well, if they want to get the 1 of 1 perk, that would be great. You know.
Yeah. Did you guys have a feature?
It's a big one. I mean, it comes with original artwork. It comes with all the covers. It comes with like everything. You know. So
gotcha.
Well, and that's the one for 1400. That's the one that Bill was talking about. The backdrop is the actual wraparound, and that'll be the cover that you get, 1 of 1, and you also get the artwork for that as well. So it's not just comics. It's you get comics, you get sketch cards, original artwork, you get merchandise. But in reality, I mean, even the regular covers, like, this is one of the reasons why I did it this way is I did everything as an add-on, so people didn't have to do a Sophie's Choice style. Yeah, that's super cool. So yeah, on the big boy, you get that. And
if somebody gets that big tier at the bottom there, I may actually throw in a little bit more original artwork as a little surprise as a thank you.
Oh, and I've got some additional stuff that I might throw in there as well. So like literally, I mean, I think it already comes with 22 items in that tier, if I remember correctly. 31 items.
Yeah.
So okay. 31 items. So yeah, you're getting enough. But yeah,
it really is Crazy Tom's kooky collection. So much. It gets so much. That's awesome.
But one of the reasons why I did almost everything as an add-on this time around was twofold. One, to make my shipping a lot easier and not explode my brain trying to figure out everything.
Yeah, I need your brain in one piece, please.
Yeah. But then also, so that way you didn't have to try to figure out like, oh, I really want this cover, but I really want the commission. And that cover is only available on this tier, right? And so now it's like, no, you can get any cover you want. You can get any, I mean, the only thing is the commissions are still, limited tiers, right? Because Bill only has so much time frame. But yeah, and everything else is just add-on. So if, people have been getting the regular retail copy and just added on slew of books.
Just shopping list, yeah.
Yeah, and merchandise, and
awesome.
And we got the new pillow, as Kevin points out in the chat. They want the pillows, so we have the throw pillows.
Yeah, I put the characters in a circle like that. So if you throw the pillow, it's like a ninja star of Cyber Angels.
It's very aerodynamic.
I love it.
Very aerodynamic. Yeah,
and it's the same image on both sides. So right before you die, you get to
you can enjoy the artwork.
Little Bruce Lee action.
Love it, man. I threw up the Committed Comics website as well here to take. Is there anything new on here, Tom, that you want to talk about, or are you just more focused on the campaign at the moment?
We're focused on the campaign. I'm, for the love of God, trying to finish the second issue of my book, Tales from the Asylum. Joe is anxiously waiting for my freaking script. He's just like, really, dude? Really? And I'm like, but again, it's the day job and then running the campaign and actually doing everybody else's stuff. It's like,
take your time, because he's got to do Surrounded by Death issue 3 for me. So
I know, but that's the funny thing.
All the
is
time
like,
in the world.
I'm kind of like this. It's working out, but and I think I'm going to utilize actually San Diego is the time I'm going to sit down with him and do some layouts for the book.
Cool.
So
cool, yeah.
But yeah,
awesome.
I mean, essentially, we're doing shows. I'm going to be at Dallas Fan Expo at the end of this month, end of May. I'm going to be at Washington State SummerCon in the middle of June. I'm going to be at San Diego, end of July, obviously. And then I'm going to be Tucson Comic-Con in August. And then both me and Bill will be at Salt Lake in September.
Hiding in the luggage.
Nice.
I looked at Terrific Con. I really wanted to come back to that show because the one year I did it was when it moved to the other hall and it had that weird layout, and it was only there for 1 year, and then they moved back to the original hall,
the major hall that they have now.
And I don't feel like I got a fair shake at the layout and the flow and that kind of stuff, but it's just the time frame going to the East Coast on that one. Same thing with Wicked. I would love to go back to Wicked, And I was looking at it, and I was like, "Oh, can I pull off this? It's only one day. If I just do," and I'm like, "No, I can't." You know.
So that Wicked was pretty good though, because they opted for free attendance.
Yeah.
So just everybody came through, and everybody's hungry to shop that day. So it was awesome. You know, another one I could highly recommend. That's a 1 day, but it's worth it to travel to. Was IC3 Indie Creator Con. And even though it's the 1 day show on a Saturday, they do like a drink and draw on Friday night, so you can get in early, hang out, network. You know,
it has like SPX vibes, like old school SPX.
Yeah,
where is that
very. It's in New Haven, Connecticut. So that's the best part is you get all that good New Haven pizza. It's in town there, right? And then
you had me at pizza.
You say good New Haven pizza. I don't know what the hell that is. I'm in New Yorker, remember?
Oh, well, that's why.
It sounds like another video.
No, you
I'm
haven't
take
lived.
a chance on it. You're speaking highly of it, so.
Dude, we tried to get in. There's like 3 places in that area that boast the best pizza in the world.
I'll hit my pizza button. Here we go. There's my pizza button right there. I'm all happy for the pizza.
We tried to go after the show on Saturday night. Could not get into any of them. All 3 of them were like.
Oh, dude. Okay.
You guys make it out to IC3 pizzas on me. I'm telling you now.
There we go. No, I mean, I do want to do like for me.
He said pizza was on him. I'm celebrating. I know, right?
So I do want to come out to more 1 day shows, but they've got to be. I mean, again, you guys know, like especially if you're coming.
Travel.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, think about it. For you guys, it's the opposite, right? Like, hey, come out to the Seattle area for a 1 day show. I mean,
I'll do it.
You know,
if you tell me it's good, Tom, I'll do it. I'll come there. I might have to sleep on your couch, but I'll do it.
You better be buying the pizza, Tom. We're traveling.
It wouldn't be the first time that I've had people sleep on my floor and my couch to do a show. Actually, I have at Washington State SummerCon. They did the acceptances so late that I've got 2 people that might be crashing on my floor because they want to,
Nice.
But it's, like they literally, it's in the middle of June and they just sent out invoices for tables today. Like it's crazy. It's like, guys, can you make it any tighter?
Yeah, right. But well, anyways, did you guys want to? We'll start to wrap up here. Did you want to shout out anything else besides the campaign? I put the links to both the campaign and to the Committed Comics website in the chat, so everyone can check that out. If you're watching tomorrow, you can get the link for Nira X in the description of the video. Anything else you guys wanted to shout out where people can find you, things like that?
I mean, again, I'm going to be at a bunch of different shows, so if you're in those areas, come out and say hi. This time around, this is the first time that Kickstarter has done it when I've run a campaign. They're doing late pledges, so I guess the campaign ends, and then there'll be certain select things.
First time figuring out how that works.
Yeah, and it's a little bit more money to do the late pledges. You still get all the stretch goals. Like, I don't know if everybody else is doing it that way, but I'm going to do it to where if you
charge you more to do the late pledges, is that why? Or
yeah, well, so basically that's what Kickstarter suggested. They pretty much.
Okay.
I think it's basically kind of like a hey, you waited too long fee.
Right, pay this little surcharge to get it or something. Yeah.
And I think it also might be because of the fact that, again, depending on how far your late pledges go out, is this something that you would have to do a secondary print run for, right? Because
right.
You get your thing, you want to fulfill your campaign.
You don't want to just hold back. Yeah.
So but again, I'm doing it to where everybody still gets all of the stretch goals, they get all the bonuses. And so those late pledges will be cut off. The campaign ends on the 23rd of May, and the late pledges will be cut off on June 1st.
Okay.
And we are doing the giveaway, artwork giveaway for all the backers. When was that, Bill? Was that the?
I've got it on my calendar. I could look it up real quick.
Yeah, look it up because I think it's after the late pledges close. So even if you're part of the late pledge extravaganza, you still are
June 7th is going to be our live stream.
So our cutoff
to draw winners. Yeah.
So the cutoff for the late pledges is June 1st. So this allows some people to still be eligible for the.
If we get to 200 backers, or more, I'll do 5 pages as part of the giveaway instead of 4. Yeah, make the odds a little bit better since there's more people in the mix.
You got to draw the pages first.
Yeah, they'll exist. Trust me.
Does Kickstarter with the late pledges? Do they give you how much time do they give you with it? Is it like a couple of months?
You get to set it. You get to set it. So
okay.
So again, this is the first time that I've run the campaign to where they've allowed it. This is also the first time that they've got secret tiers. So basically, they're not available to the public. You get a link that you can send out. So actually, just today, I had a retailer contact me who had backed some of our previous campaigns and said, "Hey, I don't see a retailer tier. Can you create one with this many copies of the book?"
Yeah.
So I created a secret tier for him. Sent it to him because again, I'm charging him wholesale pricing. I don't want,
right.
Does Kickstarter pay us twice? Do they pay us for the initial campaign and then pay us again for the late?
I don't know. I
should.
I mean, again,
I gotta juggle my finances.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how far out you
gonna get paid till December,
right? Like, I have a feeling the late pledges though are kind of like how Indiegogo does it initially. It's when you do a late pledge, I have a feeling it is pulled from your account right then and there.
Okay.
Meaning that you are now
Niobe Comics says yes. Hey Larry.
Yes. So they're pretty much allowing, online store capability.
That's cool.
Niobe says it's every week.
Yeah.
They do late pledge. He does late pledges on his campaigns.
Okay.
I'm looking at the chat.
Yeah, so that means he's
thanks for that, dude.
Again,
I appreciate it.
First time around,
first time dealing with that new little system. So
every time we come on a Kickstarter campaign, because of the fact that we do pretty much one every 8 to 9 months. Every time we come on, they've got like a ton of new features, and I'm just like, for criminy sake, please.
Right.
Just got this. We just figured it out.
Right. Imagine like
transforming into Indiegogo.
Yeah, exactly. Indiegogo in demand feature. Yeah, exactly. That's why I might try Kickstarter again.
Well, I was going to say this is my understanding is that was kind of where Indiegogo had the leg up, is that they gave you a consistent online store. So if Kickstarter is going to do the same thing now, Kickstarter has always had the larger footprint and the larger marketing budget. So it might be time for the Mighty Mascots to make their premiere appearance.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking of my new. I'm finally going to continue an old series I started back in like 2015 called Kid Switch. That was supposed to be a 4-issue mini. I only produced the first one.
What?
And then Mighty Mascots hit, and now I'm going back. I'm going to try to finish it. In between doing Mascots as well, so it's like
See, I feel a little bit better because Niobe is informing us that yes, you get the initial funds first, and then late pledges start after that.
Yeah, that's what Indiegogo does. You start to get like every month or something. They give you like whatever you made that month. Or
then I gotta learn how to use Fund My Comic. Is probably the next thing.
That one's I heard has the lowest fees, but I don't know if the lowest
fees. And honestly, we've been driving all of our own traffic anyway. So it's like Kickstarter is not driving traffic to us.
Right. That's
that's not 100% accurate, but we definitely drive a lot of it. But
you see the algorithm better than me on this.
If you jump on,
you understand it better.
You'll be able to see it. And they have this new analytics on Kickstarter right now. That's in beta mode. That it's like I clicked on it the other day and I was reading through it and I was like, holy crap, this is complex upon like they're really drilling down deep now into the algorithm and what they tell you. And so
right.
It's great.
The two biggest challenges to crack, I think, left are is like Kickstarter. They don't charge you till the campaign hits, right?
That's the one thing, yeah.
That leaves you open to like those fraudulent charges.
Fraudulent charges and people canceling. Which is it's always like somebody does that in the middle.
A handful of money at the end there. That's the one thing I hated about Kickstarter too.
But on the flip side, I have so many unfulfilled things off of Indiegogo that I paid for that I still haven't gotten. Don't ever think I'll ever get. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's part of the problem. So it's like, and one of the things, at least, you know, again, from somebody who's run the campaigns, and on the other side, you know, our drop off, thankfully, knock on wood, you know,
right,
it is small. I mean, thankfully we have, you know, Bill has a bunch of great fans that when they come in, now what drives me bonkers is throughout the campaign, they'll adjust their pledges.
Sure.
Add
Sure. I changed my mind about this. We're gonna get this.
You know,
but Tom is also fulfilling like quickly too. Is like, as soon as like if Tom is waiting for anybody, he's waiting for me. So it's like, but he's fulfilling, getting things out to people right away. But I've noticed too that even when I do a campaign on my own, just my daughter and myself, we did 2 campaigns just to figure out the nuts and bolts, because we got little side projects that we like to do that just don't have bells and whistles to them.
Yeah.
So we were like almost a year late on the one, but we kept the transparency up. We kept communicating with people. We kept on letting them know what was, you know, if somebody had a question, hey, where's my book? And it's like, oh, this is what's going on. You know, like, you know, just stayed very, now, thankfully, like everything that we've actually done has already been shipped out. Everything is out the door. Nobody's still waiting for stuff like 5 years later.
Right.
God forbid. God, can you imagine? So
I think you can't bounce back from 5 years later.
It's rough. Right. That's a rough one. That's a rough one.
It is rough.
Yeah. Well,
awesome. Yeah. Well, this has been great, guys. Oh, go ahead. I'm going to
yell at Kevin real quick. It's the reason why Bill is doing Salt Lake over San Diego is because Bill has never been to Salt Lake, and Bill has a table spot at Salt Lake.
It's a good reason.
San Diego took away his Artist Alley spot.
It's also a very different month.
Yeah.
Oh, this is actually a good question. Paul's asking, what would we do if someone pulls a payment on a tier that you only have one spot for? That might be problematic.
So if I have a 1 of 1 type of thing and someone pulls, I mean,
I guess you would.
Again, this is for me. I look at it as in that's something that doesn't need to be fulfilled, right? So commission tier, Bill doesn't have to draw the commission, so that saves him time. And then if it's merchandise or if it's a cover, you know, I'm in this for the long haul, right? And so if that means I have a special cover, well, then I have a special cover. I can go to a show and sell it. You know, I can put it on the next campaign as an add-on.
Right,
right. So there's a lot of people who run at what can we do right now or the next 3 months. I'm looking at every single thing to do as in how much merchandise will I have in 2 years, 5 years? You know, what will I have for Bill's fans and the new fans that we keep on accumulating?
Yeah,
you know,
true. That's a good idea.
I'm not going anywhere. I've been doing it for 25 years.
Niobe is mentioning, I mean, as long as they don't pull the item at the last minute before the campaign ends, that spot will just open up automatically and be available to people that might want to get it. So thanks for that.
And again, if I have late pledges turned on, it now becomes available, because on my end, when a 1 of 1 is selected and I have it marked as a late pledge item, it says this item will not be available for late pledges unless you increase the quantity. So if that person, I'm assuming if that person's payment fails, it gets put back into stock and then it shows up until the deadline of my late pledges. I mean, again, I'll see.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, you cut it.
You can also do it as an add-on because it's less of a risk, maybe. You know what I mean? Because it's an add-on, not contingent on the actual tier. You know, one of the tier aspects.
That's one of the reasons, again, why I did the add-ons, right? Because I know I'm going to make XYZ of print run of the variant covers and that kind of stuff, and then the add-ons are just anything beyond that.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
Perfect.
So,
all right, Jen. So where can people find you as we start to wrap up here?
Thomas?
Well, you can find me on committedcomics.com or on Instagram at committed.comics. There's a little period in between.
Okay.
Very cool.
And then just search Nira X on Kickstarter and give me all of your monies. All of it.
Yes, because Tom needs to pay me. I need more pizza. I need the pizza now. And pens, probably paper. I need stuff. You can find me right here at billmossart.com. That's just my webpage. All my social links are there, all in one place, so that way you don't have to go looking everywhere. Other than that, I'm more active on my Facebook page as far as like interacting and talking with people and stuff like that. And I'm on YouTube on Saturdays, typically around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do my draw stream at 10. We usually go for like a couple hours, and we auction off the piece of art at the end of the night. And that's what I do to kind of like break up the schedule a little bit, so that way I get back to my book deadlines. Because Tom is waiting for pages.
Apologies, Niobe. We've actually, our show's been going for 3.5 hours. You guys kind of tacked
only
on
3.5 hours.
Yeah, join us. Please subscribe while you're here. We'd love
subscribe
to
and
have you guys
subscribe and then rewatch
every
the
other
from the
week
beginning
with different creators and everying. So
that's what I'm saying. We can make these shows longer.
Yeah.
Click the notification button.
If you make this longer than 3 hours, by the time we come on and talk with you, you guys will be like hanging out in hammocks.
Yeah,
chilling with drinks.
If this show goes any longer, we're gonna then go right up to the post of the next time you guys are scheduled to come on.
There you go. There you go.
It is Cinco de Mayo today, so
see a little bit of Cinco de Mayo. It's like,
well, yesterday was May the 4th, and today's Revenge of the 5th, right?
That's what it is. That's
every
what it is.
day something.
Yeah,
There you
Niobe, hit
But
me
that's
up.
nice.
We're scheduling a couple months out, but hit me up. We'd have you on as a guest. He said I'd love to come on. Shock. Yeah, definitely, man.
Awesome.
Hit us up. And Johnny, Harry, did you guys have anything you wanted to shout out this
Harry?
week before we wrap things up?
Well, I do have something to show you guys. Speaking of, I used some.
No, not another hour, Harry.
What?
Buckle up, everybody.
Next time.
No.
Next time.
Do you have it ready and quick? Let's do it. Let's do it, dude.
I have it ready. Hold on. Let me share screen. I always have trouble with this.
Thanks,
Share
You
screen.
just watched it the whole time?
Dude, we haven't launched yours since we started.
She watched from the beginning of the show. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, that's
so
because
you're
she's
watching,
awesome.
or she sustained a head
Thanks for
injury over
sticking
the
around,
weekend.
Jess. That's awesome.
What do I do here?
That means you guys are
Share.
fun. See, we get to hang out, talk shop for a little while.
It's true. We all
It's all
our,
good.
our conversations always drift into fun tangents.
Come around the campfire, friends. We got stories for you.
All right, what is Harry adding here? Bring it up.
Are we
Harry,
on here?
before- Yeah. Well, I
Is it
can
on-
see
yeah,
your
I got it.
screen, but I want you. There
Okay.
we go. There we go.
All right. So.
Alyssa Milano.
Well, this is a very old drawing that I did back in the day. Just I shop every weekend and I keep seeing
It's
them.
kind of one of my favorite cookies, so this is hitting the nerve for me. I'm just like,
Yeah,
this
no
is,
one's
this is a good
and
cookie.
Bill, no one's ever done this. Before I do something, I make sure I research it first and make sure it's not out there already. And this one was somehow available, so I drew it. And this kind of reminded me of this. Remember this? You know how we talked about
Yep.
how we talked about
those-
wrestling and comics go together.
Those made a comeback this
Watch
past summer.
this. Look at this.
Oh, superstar spicy.
That's cool. There you go.
Dude, this is why I was asking you about.
This is so cool.
What your
I
wrestling
love
name is.
that. I love that. Take another hour. I love this.
Yeah. Okay. So
Take another hour. Keith was like,
don't go home
Clobbering
yet.
Keith
We got
Gleason.
one. We got one for Johnny here.
Oh man,
Nice.
those are great. I love those. You gotta
That's
send those
awesome.
to me.
I
Harry. Love that.
redrew the. I redrew the superstars.
There's
font
your
here.
there's your acrylic standees right there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Done.
Oh
Good
my
and
Done
god.
and done.
You just
It
you
could
just
be-
have the
boom.
pole,
It could
the
be-
post.
Yeah,
It could
there you
be-
go.
Fuck
could be
that.
ICR.
I want to make real ice cream bars now.
It
Fuck
could be-
that.
right?
That's awesome.
See how I
Oh,
use the little
man.
symbol up here.
Harry,
to
this
make
is
it the back-
amazing, dude.
All right, there's
That's funny.
these two guys.
What's our name?
The Legion of Tune. I like it.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a cool name, so I figured that.
No, that's a winner. That's good. That's
All
good.
right, all right.
Oh,
And
this
then
is
we got
great,
this,
dude.
this dork over here.
Preparation age. You should have been with us as a trio, Harry.
Well, I did put all together.
Yes, the
Nice.
podcast tears. Oh, I love these.
And then
These
the,
are great.
the funniest thing at the end, it was like just our faces. Like,
Look at Here's the nice one. Here's the nice guy.
I've ever looked. I've never made that.
I know. That's why I had to do it. That's why I had to like.
Everyone's
you
loving
got
it.
the facial expressions switched on Keith and Johnny there.
I'm thinking swag here, or
for sure.
Amy says she sees that art in an intro video.
That's a
cool.
good. Yeah,
actually,
that's a good
you know
idea.
what would be great is if Amy or we find the original commercial for those ice cream bars and work ours into it. That would be fun.
I want to make those real ice cream bars. I gotta figure out how to do
miss those friggin' things so much. They were so damn good. They were so damn good, dude.
Yes, Ryan, you want me in your mouth. 100%. I am freaking delicious.
You see what happens? You see what happens?
Oh, that all just went sideways.
Well, we're after 11 o'clock, so we cleared.
The kids just went to sleep.
Ryan's also trying to derail the show. He said he heard there's a rumor that Lou Ferrigno is returning as the Hulk.
Oh, no.
I did hear that.
Oh no! All right, I'm punching out, everybody. See you later.
Yeah, right.
I mentioned it 2.5 hours ago.
Awesome. Johnny,
we should keep going. I don't know.
What was that?
Johnny, anything you want to shout out before we?
No, you know what I want to do is thank all the wonderful creators, particularly Bill and Tom here, for taking a little time out of their night to come online, have fun with us, have fun with their audiences. Thank you guys so much. The projects look awesome. Everybody needs to go and back the campaign. Support Nira X right now, live on Kickstarter.
I just want to say real quick.
Listen to Johnny.
Go ahead, Rick.
That the ice cream bars I drew myself. The other one, I didn't spend 8 hours drawing each of us in like line art. I just spent that part. I used like a quick filter or whatever. But
those are fun though, Harry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Harry, for that. That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was an awesome surprise.
Cool. I'll send them. They're available. I'll give them to you guys for.
Send them to me.
I think that's gonna be my new social media default pick.
Just wrap them so they don't melt.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm thinking summer merch. ICR summer merch.
Summer merch. Yeah. Gonna build the channel a little higher till we get some merch. We'll work it. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right. Yeah. Just definitely want to thank everybody for watching us tonight. If you haven't subscribed, it's Indie Comics Relay on YouTube channel. Check that out. And join us every other Monday. Our next episode, 519, is the Writers Roundtable. That's going to be a really fun episode, really fun night. Fun questions and about writing, and Johnny's going to be doing a writing prompt game live on the air with the contestants, so that should be awesome. And that's pretty much it. Everybody read comics, get Nira X, check out Dirty Living from our earlier guest, and get a Crit number 8 as well from Chris earlier in the show.
1 through 8.
1 through 8, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, everybody, have a great week. We'll talk to you later. And good night.